Beyond Saltmarsh is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language, explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
What?
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
tracks.
know about that.
Yeah, I'm following.
That's the best segue I have right now.
Yep.
We're
Yep,
a
let's
little bit
get
behind. Thanks to
Sorry about
everybody
that.
for joining us. Hey, welcome to the Superior Adventures Guild. My name is Dave, your humble dungeon master, and we're going to dive back into our ongoing campaign called Beyond Saltmarsh. You all know that. That's why you're here. We really appreciate everybody hanging out with us. We've got a hype train going already. Thanks to everyone who's jumping in on that action. I want to introduce you to some of the folks that I've had a pleasure of playing games with over the last 2+ years, and this has been just a joy for me. So let's introduce you to the gang, the Deg Gang, and in real life, they're awesome people too. They're not just superheroes in the game; they're superheroes in life. And we're gonna go around the table here and introduce each other. Should we introduce each other? Let's start with Ashley. Ashley, why don't you introduce Kirk?
Oh man. No.
All right, fine. You can introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Wait,
Introduce you.
me?
No,
Okay.
wait,
Yeah, yeah.
Because I said
Wait.
introduce
Stop. I got
introduce
this.
yourself, and then
You wanna- should we
guys
start
just
over?
waited.
Should we
Let's
start
go.
over?
Start over.
Let's start over.
Hey,
Everybody-
everybody. Welcome to the Superior Adventures Guild. Blah, blah, blah. Let's introduce each other, ourselves. We'll start with
All right.
Kirk.
All right, everybody. This is Ashley.
God damn it.
She's playing Feyre.
Nice.
Colossus.
Ooh, I don't know if that's right.
Evenstar?
Feyre has a real last name.
She's playing Feyre Evenstar. She's a bard. She plays us music. She inspires us. She's basically made the crew her own. Is secretly planning to take over our ship.
It's not really that much of a secret.
And she's doing a good job of it because I'm on board.
They all.
Saltmarsh. Welcome to Saltmarsh.
Have you met
Or
Feyre?
I believe that's how that's pronounced.
Oh, my goodness. Thanks for the hype train, everybody. All right, well, let's do this. Andy, who do you want to introduce?
I'll introduce myself.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, then. Do it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andy. I'm playing Runar Deg, 10th level human dual sword wielding battlemaster fighter and captain of the Good Buddy. And I'm just really excited to be in the Amedio Jungle and experience all that it has to offer, including all the deadly encounters.
The pools, the gloom,
The rocks trying to kill us.
Tuva.
Those vines were nasty. Assassin vines.
Mm-hmm. Classic foe.
Nobody likes assassin
A lot
vines.
of poison damage.
You've dealt with assassins before, Mr. Deg, and you've always come out on the other side of it, one way or
You
another.
haven't got me yet.
Nope. Let's jump on over to Michael.
In the course of your life, you might once or twice meet someone who inspires you. Someone who makes you want to become more than you are. Someone who you look at and go, well, thank God that's not me. That person is Byron Hern.
Oh,
Because
God.
Byron Hern is the king of bad fucking decisions. I'm not like aristocracy, not perhaps a high, eschatological or clerical. Now he's definitely royalty of hey y'all, hold my beer. Which for being a rogue is impressive because actually he does have astonishing high AC for a rogue. Not so many hit points though. Ridiculous bonuses to certain things though.
Don't forget about Chuck.
When we die, and we will die, it will be because of Byron Hern.
And a fancy monkey.
And his monkey.
His monkey assassin. Oh, goodness. Thank you, Michael. Ashley?
Wait. Okay.
You only have yourself now.
No, I have Theo because
Oh, yeah.
you introduced
That's right.
me.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey everybody. This is Michael. He plays Theodric Felicitas,
I got
and
much prettier.
he is a half elf paladin. I don't remember what you are.
Necromancer.
Oh gosh.
And necromancer, sometimes
Warlock.
necromancer. Warlock, hexblade, and his sword talks to him, and he might be going crazy, but we don't know.
We're all here for it.
Yeah.
That is the kind of content that we're here for, indeed. I just dropped links to all of these beautiful people's Twitter accounts, except for Kirk doesn't have a Twitter because he's old school. He's strictly on
We need to make him a
OnlyFans.
Twitter.
Well, we could-
Owls.
I do have a Twitter. I just don't use it.
Do you want me to drop your OnlyFans link?
Yeah.
He
Okay.
uses pigeons.
Well, we'll get
Uses pigeons.
pigeons. It's a
What do
real
you do
hit.
with the pigeons?
Let it
It's-
fly.
You send
Set it
messages.
free.
You got to
Set it free, and if it loves you, it will come back.
they poop
Or
everywhere.
if you trained it.
Oh, they do.
It's
They
a lot of
stink. But
effort.
hey,
Or
let
you
me- let's-
weld them together.
All right, let's move on. Big shout out before we lose our sponsors. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors. CZRPG. You guys know this group. You love this group. They are the publishers of an amazing catalog of third party Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition content, all kinds of great stuff, tons of maps, modules, worlds. They have a Kickstarter book that's coming out, Amazing Places. I can't wait to get my hands on that. We've done some play testing for them. Tonight, we're giving away Encounters in Barovia. Thanks to Christian and his team for donating this to us. ! Drawing to get in on that giveaway. We'll draw someone at the end of tonight's stream. Really quickly, this thing is amazing. It is a 48-page PDF with 4 alternate versions of Curse of Strahd special events. 14 new encounters, encounter maps, 3 new creatures, 2 new items, 17 detailed maps with a bunch of different versions. Andy, guess how many different maps there are once you tally up all the versions? Just take a wild guess.
140.
You're so darn close, 130. 130. But given the Price of Right rules that we like to attest to, you would not be a winner tonight. But you were
Aw,
darn
yeah, you
close.
can't go
darn close. Hey,
I'm gonna
take a
get
guess
one
on
of those
this.
microphones.
Ashley, who has the best beard products this side of the Mississippi?
I would guess that would be Old Goat Beard Company.
You nailed it, Ashley. Tell us why.
Because they have scents like honey whiskey, cherry tobacco, cedar leather, and
Oh,
roasted
nice.
oatmeal stout.
Whoa.
Did you get ad copy in the rest?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I
I'm
know, right?
impressed. You were
Jared,
ready
I thought
for
you
that.
Caught her by surprise.
So did
No,
I.
man, he surprised me like 20 episodes ago, and I wrote it
Oh,
down.
It all comes back around. We're cycling through. Soon to be
Oh,
apple
boy.
bourbon. Well.
Hey-o.
Yeah, it's smeared
Apparently-
on my face.
Techie Woman's
Mhm.
Ghost is hip on the new Formula A.
To be
So
fair,
that's
Kirk,
cool.
you'd smear a lot of things on your face.
Let's be honest here.
We've seen it. We've seen it
Yeah.
many times.
Some sooner, never mind.
You guys, we're going to give away a bottle of the Old Goat Beard Company beard oil tonight. If you can see this.
Yep.
There we go.
It's
Look at
kind
that.
of in focus. Nope, don't get closer.
How does it look now?
Very nice.
Just kidding.
It's perfect.
Oh, we're having a good time here tonight, folks. It's been a long week. It's been a week since we've done this. And you know what happens in a week of not doing this? I forget how it's done. Luckily, I know that the very next thing that we're supposed to do is a recap. So let's dive into a recap of our last session because, my friends, it was a doozy. The Deg Gang located the missing refugees. So that's a great place to start. You guys located the missing refugees. Survivors from a mysterious and fatal exodus of villagers from Fort South Azure. They were led by an elf named Quinn Tigerberry. They've traveled They've traveled south, entered the dense Amedio Jungle, and put distance between themselves and the star-fallen fragments of the comet Hyakutake. Seeking the safety of the Plasarian Grove, Quinn lost a few refugees along the way. You went after them because you're heroes, and you found them huddled along the shoreline of a gloom-shrouded pool, surrounded by dead trees and desiccated ground cover. The refugees knelt at the shoreline, sobbing and calling out with the strange sounds of indecipherable languages. Theo's keen eyesight detected parasitic creatures that were like oversized mosquitoes with bat-like wings and a razor-sharp proboscis. That's multiple proboscises, piercing each of the refugees, feeding on them. undetected. One by one, the refugees fell to the ground, and you all attacked. You moved in to shake the refugees from their trance, and the assassin vines thwarted your advance, as Andy had alluded to earlier. Blasts of eldritch energy, well-placed arrows separated the parasites from their victims, and they attacked or attempted to attack the Deg Gang. They were quickly put down, however, with well-placed arrows from Feyre and Runar. Byron entangled. Theo, noticing a faint glow from the murky pool, dove in to investigate, because that's what you do in Dungeons & Dragons. Slipping the grapple, Byron raced forward, revived a refugee, and was surprised to find himself face to face with a gnarled, corrupted tree, grim and deadly, quite ready to tear him apart. Byron responded by... Yeah. He had 2 mouths for a tree. That's pretty good. Byron responded by producing a gut punch Molotov, call back, while his companions unleashed their attacks of the Starfallen fragment in the pool of gloom. Feyre noticed the treant attacking Byron and unleashed more arrows. The treant responded by throwing Byron to the water's edge and then slamming Theo, who quickly teleported his way back to the crystal in the bottom of this pond, this pool. Byron tried to throw the Molotov to Chuck, who missed it, but still the result was the same. It ignited the treant and caused massive damage. Eventually, you were able to destroy the crystal in the bottom of the pool, the fragment of Hyakutaki. And the treant was pulled down by another amazingly placed arrow from Feyre's Oath Bow, dealing out massive damage with her new magical weapon, which was really fun to see. You guys put distance between yourselves in the pool. You learned some things from the refugees. You learned the legend and lore of the great comet Hyakutaki. There were assertions that it had actually been drawn to the jungle, perhaps called by some ancient entity in a long-forgotten corner of the jungle. The bodies, and presumably the souls of Fort Azure's dead, prior to the comet even appearing, had been disappearing into the jungle with no explanation. And you learned of the safety, once again, of the Plasarian Grove. The next day, you encountered a stream and a statue that you passed, and then you encountered a stream and a statue that you passed, and you were caught in some kind of a weird gray hot glitch. We've had a few of those, to be fair. Making a few offerings, which was super smart. You guys welcomed a curious hooved human-like satyr named Tuva. Music lover, guardian of the forest, 100% fae. They took a quick liking to their new bestie, Feyre. And her companions too. Tuva revealed the presence of a remote tribe of nasty elvesies, the Namashal, who apparently live in the mountains that you're headed to. Bidding you good luck, she released you from the glitch, and you continued on your way south. And that, my friends, is where we will pick up as you are traveling south towards the foothills, now drawing quite near. Tell me, my friends, what are you doing? Good call. Being quiet and stealthy.
Yes.
I believe we were going to continue to the
well,
suit and try and get these refugees to the Plasarian Mountains to meet up with their friend?
Tigerberry.
Quinn
Quinn.
Tigerberry.
Absolutely.
Well, I just don't know the
So-
nature of their relationship.
They're
kind of a guide.
villagers of his town.
They're fleeing together in mass.
Yes.
So
They
they're
are. They live in the same town together that they
Live dead.
fled.
So we made it as far.
We
back
stole all
to
their
where we
stuff.
started, right?
Yeah, you made it back to the
Fantastic.
game trail that you were following. You made it past the Tuva's stream, her little spot where she waylaid you for a little bit. It's probably midday at this point, and as you guys continue south, attempting to retrace or follow maybe the path of the refugees ahead of you with Quinn, why don't whoever would like to, who's trained in survival, roll a survival check so we can get some tracking going.
I'm so good at surviving. Does anybody
Come on.
want to help me?
I'll help you.
I want to try
Yeah.
too.
I can't help you because I'm helping her.
That's okay. I'm going it alone.
I'll help Runar.
Thank you.
He needs it.
I need it.
I
Try
got
that
a
again.
25.
Wow, really?
Wow.
My
That's
version of
amazing.
helping Runar is being like,
Just
"Oh,
stop,
what's
Byron,
this
stop it.
berry? Look at this leaf.
Byron,
Does
don't
this
touch
mean
that.
we're on the right trail?
God damn it, Byron.
Look
That
at the
berry is
bark
not
on
a good
this
berry.
tree."
That's poisonous.
Oh, it's
It's
poisonous tree bark.
Oh, Byron, come over here, and I'll prestidigitation his hands again.
Oh, thank goodness. Hey,
Touching
can you
everything.
AC me too? Can you cool me down a little?
That would be nice.
Well, I can.
It's
clean up
super
the
hot here.
Sweat.
Let's bring the temp down.
Ugh.
Theo just reaches
Oh,
over
so
and
sweaty.
touches your tunic, and your tunic becomes cold for the next hour.
Yes.
Which
we
IRL,
can-
they make blankets
do
that are
that.
like that now. We just got one, and it is wonderful in the summer.
A prestidigitation blanket?
No, blankets that always feel cold, but same effect.
Wow. That's cool.
the future.
Sounds
So
horrible.
Farah, you rolled a
I love it.
25 on
Yes.
your track and roll. So yes, you immediately pick up the trail of the group. There's probably a dozen or maybe maybe 14 or 15 refugees. So they leave a pretty well-worn trail now that you've seen it. It was a little hard to find, but you did it. You guys make your way south, and eventually you towards the middle of the afternoon, you overtake them, and they are sitting again in the grove, and they all stand up to, as they're resting, they get up and they come over, and the reunited refugees are hugging each other, and there's some tears, and it turns out that Denston was partnered up with one of the other guys in the group, and they're embracing, and there's just a lot of relief you can see. And Quinn comes over and gives you handshakes and thanks you for what you did. I'm glad you were able to bring them all back and save them. Thank you for that. I don't know how I'll ever be able to repay you.
It was really close, but don't worry about it.
Quinn, I have an idea.
Any help that you could give us would be appreciated, though. What's up, Byron?
And Quinn, I know how you can repay us.
How's that?
All of the stuff you left in town.
What about it? We left it there.
No, can we have it?
I mean, yeah, we'll never see it again. It's back there. I mean, you'll have to go back and get it, but
Oh, I'll look over at Runar, and then I'll reach into my bag and I'll pull out my secret journal, and I'll open it up and I'll flip to the page, the latest page, and be like, 1,173 gold. 60 feet of silk rope. I think we got a spyglass, some caltrops,
He is retroactively
Uh,
asking if it's
a
okay
hooded lantern.
with you that we took everything we could find in the town because we needed supplies coming into the jungle.
Some javelins.
so let me get this straight. You pillaged what was remained of our town that we had to leave in a hurried state because we were afraid for our lives, and you want to keep it.
Well,
mean-
you
Aaron, you're
did
not
say
making
you
friends
did
right
know
now.
how you could repay us, and I was trying to give you an out here.
I mean, sure.
All right, we're square.
Other important question. Do you know anything about the Namashal elves?
You don't have to answer that. We're square.
Byron,
Byron.
Oh, but I'd like to know.
I'll tell you, but it will cost you 1,700 and what is it, 63 gold.
1,173.
73 gold. I'll tell you everything you need to know.
Byron, we don't need their gold.
I was mostly asking in the event that you
I
hadn't
know.
heard about them so that you could be warned about them.
Taking a step back, when you ask about the Namashal, he does a kind of a grim look goes on his face, and he says, "Yeah, I've heard rumors of the Namashal. I know that they range within this area. I was hoping we might avoid contact with them. Do you know more?"
No, we were just warned that they had been in this area at some point in the past several months, so...
Basically,
Which-
what I've heard, I've never encountered them, but they'll waylay people in the jungle. They've been known to take people's things, not gold, of course. Who would dare do that? But they're basically considered by the folk of Fort South Azure as well, I guess, dangerous. That's about all I know, and it'd be probably good if we didn't mention it to the rest of the group. I know it would cause a little bit of maybe unnecessary anxiety, although we should be careful.
Agreed. Just wanted to make sure you knew they were out here. Because we just found out. It's great. Ran into a
Yes.
satyr. That was weird.
Oh,
A little fawn. Yeah, cedar. And by the way, she really likes music, so if you get into a bind, play us something nice. But she does not like those elves.
There's a certain amount of irony given that wood fae and elves who dwell in the jungle, you would seem they would be like very good friends.
Right.
well,
Right.
I have heard that these elves are a hard bunch.
Most elves are. Most elves are assholes.
I
Wait a
don't
minute.
know. My father was quite nice.
Yeah, that seems like an
Some people come out like
overgeneralization.
Well, maybe we should continue south. There's still a bit of daylight left.
Let's definitely do that.
Yeah, we should keep moving.
All right, I'll gather the others. Since we've essentially hired you with the payment of 1,173 gold, perhaps you wouldn't mind kind of scouting ahead for us. Maybe trying to find the path. This path is very difficult to keep track of.
We
I'm
can
gonna look at-
certainly escort you to the Plasarian Grove. It's on our way.
If we were planning on doing that anyway, so
Yep.
that just all works out.
Runar, are we really we're gonna take all their money?
I told you we don't need their money, man.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say.
We thought.
Why do you
we
think I
thought-
kept a tally? We said we were gonna give it back.
I'm gonna turn.
I
to
thought we
Quinn and-
agreed.
I'm gonna turn to Quinn and just be like, honestly, about the coin. We thought you guys were all dead. We thought everybody was dead.
Kirk, or sorry, Byron. Byron, do you have the money on you?
No, it's not my. I didn't keep. I gave it all to Runar,
Oh, you
but I
gave
kept
it
the
to me?
tally. Yeah, you have all the money. I gave you all the money. I remember distinctly. I have it written in my notes. 1,173 gold total found, plus all the stuff we stole from.
Captain, is the coinage on the ship?
No, it wouldn't be because we left straight from the fort.
Okay.
So I
No,
have
we
it in
went
my
back
bag
to the
of
ship
holding.
because
Give
we
it to
went.
me.
Did go back.
Yeah,
to
you
the
did go back to
in-between.
the ship because you left
Yep.
the crate of apples with the crew.
Yeah,
Correct. And
Well, we paid the
Other
crew, but we
things.
didn't leave all the money with the crew. I'll just tell you that. much.
Quinn's just kind of
Okay.
listening, and he looks at you and says, "Captain Deg, we have no use for coin here.
well,
What would we do with it?" Let's-
You heard the man. Let's hit the road. Come on, let's.
right on. Here we go.
I will consider ourselves employed for the time being.
That's more valuable to us than anything at this point. Thank you. So you guys head south.
Chase.
Let's do this. As you're heading south, you're trying to keep track of the trail. You're trying to find maybe the easiest path as you enter what appears to be the foothills. Now, before you, there's this broad mountain range that you see as you continue south, and this range kind of pierces through the canopy of this dense tropical rainforest-like jungle. Jagged emerald peaks that seem to be shrouded in a bit of a haze. The scent of flowers, a bouquet that grows stronger as the wind carries the inviting aroma to your nose. It smells like there's a wonderful flower garden all around you. Melodies of the birds, songs are echoing through canyons that you can't quite see in the distance. And there are these massive banyan-like trees that are rooted in this sloping scree field, and they're towering above you as you step off of the sort of the dank, soft jungle floor and set foot on granitic firmament. You look above you, and it's just this broad slope of loose rock. These banyan trees kind of piercing or erupting, not actively erupting, but kind of growing out of that hillside. What I'd like to do is a bit of a skill challenge and hear from each of you what skill that you're trained in, that you have proficiency in, that you would like to use as you decide where to go or what to do, if you're going to continue maybe finding a path. But I want you to kind of give me an idea of what you would do and then go ahead and let's roll one by one to see how well we do. And the number of successes that you have will dictate kind of what happens next. So who would like to start?
Well, I can certainly try to find the way and continue the survival guide of, finding a path that people could follow us down or up the mountain. Or through the mountain, which would be better.
Yeah.
I remember that from Fellowship of the Ring. Didn't work so well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should
Balrog's
I roll
aside.
for that? Or
Yeah, go ahead and roll a... do you have... Well, yeah, I guess it'd be a survival. Go ahead and roll survival again.
23.
All right, that's definitely a success. Feyre, you find a very faint game trail that seems to follow a very subtle, but now as you see it, logical path that zigzags back and forth, these switchbacks. And you guide the party up these switchbacks, and at some points you put your foot down and rocks just kind of slide out, and you kind of stumble a little bit, but hold yourself together as you lead the group up. And you look back and you see that the refugees are following your trail one by one. You're all making your way up like a string of pack mules or goats going up the scree field. Some of them are having a harder time than others, but you find a pretty reasonable trail. So nicely done. Go ahead, Kirk. What do you got? Byron?
Oh. I would like to use persuasion. I will be walking up and down. I won't be leading or following, really. I'll be walking among the refugees, going up and down, helping people, trying to convince them, like, hey, listen, you can do this. This is just a mountain. This isn't... You're going to make it up here. Just another step. You can do this. This is your chance. Let's get away from all of this bad juju in this past. Let's move forward. We got this.
As I see Byron going into his speech, I would like to give him inspiration.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll your persuasion and then add a D10 inspiration from your bard. Ooh, you need it.
D10, please.
Oof.
Whoa.
Oh,
Not
what'd you
even
get?
I can save that.
He rolled a 2 and then a 1 for inspiration. Wow.
I got a
his persuasion
13.
was still 12.
13 with the inspiration.
13 total? All
Yeah.
right. You...
That's a nice
Yeah, go ahead.
persuasion.
I also have an inspiration token, but I don't remember what it's for.
You can re-roll your D20.
Ooh,
You're going to use it?
hell yeah. Yeah, it's
All right.
time.
All right, do it.
A little
So
better.
5 plus the plus the bardic
16
inspiration.
total.
16?
16.
That's pretty good.
Respectable.
Some of the refugees respond really, really well to your encouragement, and you can see that there's a bit of a morale boost, and they start helping other people as they're sort of getting the hang and starting to feel more confident going up this pretty steep slope. Some of them slip and fall, but they're working together. They sort of bring each other back up. There's a couple that just kind of give you the fuck you, kind of thing. But for the most part, you have a positive effect, and that is considered a success as well. So nicely done. Who would like to go next? Runar or Theo?
Yeah, I'll
Go ahead, Runar.
I would say Runar is just kind of like skipping around the traveling line of people, kind of like jumping up and down and helping people, up the trail, and at times periodically, getting high points where he can kind of keep an eye on everybody to make sure nobody goes missing, or if there's anybody behind us. So kind of like using his acrobatics to kind of just like work the mountainside and help people out and that kind of thing.
All right. So what skill are you using?
Acrobatics.
All right. Give us a roll.
16.
16. Okay. Yeah, you guys are doing really well. So that's a success as well. You're able to keep your adroit footing as you bound up and down like a mountain goat. and keeping an eye on the others, maybe at sometimes catching someone slipping and kind of propping them back up and giving them a little boost as they work their way up. Together, you and Byron are really helping to raise the morale. And Quinn, you can see Quinn is feeling pretty relieved. He's starting to feel a little bit more loose, and he's joking a little bit with some of the other refugees as they're making their way. They're ascending up this slope. So that is 3 successes. How about Theodoric?
I'm gonna just let them handle it. I'm kidding. Well, Theo has what sort of time frame is this kind of set of roles and capital? It sounds like hours of the day, right?
Yeah, it's like the later part of the day, maybe 3 hours of like making your way. It's slow going. Even with these successes, it's still really, really harsh and difficult terrain in the most difficult sense.
That works very well, because Warlock, short rest, buddy. So I like the concept. I'd like to try and use Arcana because I have this stable of useful spells like Prestidigitation at will to help people, help people out, cool them down, clean them off. Minor illusion to, kind of illustrate things. And, with the essentially power, leveled spells recharging on, an hour, I can dimension door a couple of people across chasms if need be occasionally, or, cure wounds if someone falls on him. So I like the idea that he's just wandering around doing like little magical effects here and there, trying to use the power to help people along.
Okay. It's tough to get, just to be clear, it's tough to get a short rest as you're hiking up this rugged terrain. I don't know if that changes anything, but you can certainly use what you do have.
I like the concept that the short rest is more like per encounter for narrative stuff like that. So it's like, no, it's just, little magic here and there. And I feel like that seems narratively doable.
So what skill would you like to roll? Arcana?
Arcana. That's why it's like, it's an Arcana.
Yep. I like it.
And I'm going to burn an advantage because I've got them. And I don't want to be the guy that embarrasses himself more than everyone else. Still might happen.
Ooh,
Still kind of happened.
What's the total, though?
Total
The
16.
first roll was good.
A 16 is a success in this case, and you are able to, again, raising morale, helping people as maybe they twist an ankle, give them a little healing magic to help them with that. Yeah, exactly. And over the course of the rest of this day, you do a pretty good job of making a ascent up this slope. It's probably not the ideal location to be climbing into the mountains, but you have indeed found your way to what appears to be a bit of a ridge. Give me as you crest this ridge, give me perception checks, please, around the board.
$23.
Oh.
Ooh, 18.
Hey, Ty, good to see you.
21.
If allowable, I'd like to premise that I'm walking with my shield out. Not my dagger, but at least my shield.
Okay, absolutely.
And my hood up.
Some great rolls, you guys. 23, 18, 21, and another 18. Very nice. Runar,
I would like to also be walking with my bow out, just because I'm in front and we know there's dangerous creatures.
Our ranger is out front with her bow, finding the way up this rugged mountainous terrain. I love it. Bards are so great. All right, so Runar, you're the first one that sees it. And quickly followed by Theo. Farah and Byron maybe having it pointed out to them quickly as the other two look upon at the ridgeline. You can see maybe a quarter mile adjacent to the ridgeline. This strange looking spire looks out of place, twisting its way up from the jagged emerald peaks and slopes around it. It is possibly some sort of an obsidian. It is black, and it almost twists as it ascends to a peak a point that's probably 40 to 50 feet up from the ridgeline.
And if this is on the path or like across a ravine from the
So
path?
imagine like you're going up this slope and you get to a ridge line, and then you get to the ridge, you look down and it's kind of like a path going forward, but then adjacent, so going to the right, looking to the right, you can see on the same ridge that you're on, this twisted spire of obsidian.
Do you think that's a temple or a wizard's tower? Or just like a city?
It doesn't feel Wizard Tower, doesn't quite have the organization principle, perhaps something darker by nature.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of.
I don't notice any people around, any creatures around the tower in the area.
You don't. You had a really high perception roll of 23. You see birds, maybe vultures, way up in the air, super way high up in a kettle, and they're just kind of maybe a dozen of them spinning around in a circle. But you don't see anything else. Maybe some furry little marmots that look at you and then and like disappear in the rocks.
I'm going to point it out to Quinn. Quinn, you know what that tower is over there?
I don't know anything about that. I've never been here before, so everything is strange.
Yeah, I guess I was going to say it seems out of place, but
it sure does. You look around and you can see that on this ridge, at least in the visible field that you have, there are some mists that kind of float low ahead of you in the mountains, but you don't see anything else like it.
Does it have like windows and doors and stuff?
Not that you can see from where you are.
It's just like looks smooth.
It's not smooth. It looks like it's a rock, so it's twisted, right? It's not a smooth twist. It's like jagged, and it looks like a geologic formation, just very strange for this location, or strange to you because you haven't seen anything like it before.
We should probably go take a look at it, although...
With all these people?
No, we should. They should not.
What are we going to do with all these people?
They should stay here.
They should
Rest.
stay here.
We've been
just
pushing
take
for
a
a
little
while.
breather while we
It
go
would be good
forth
to
and
rest.
make sure it's not dangerous.
Okay.
Are those vultures?
Yes, they are.
Are-
Things that fly.
Some kind of
Are they
birds that live on
circling?
it or something?
It looks like they are.
Does that mean something's died?
Usually.
Not, or something's dying.
Let's
Oh.
go take that look. Quinn, keep everybody here.
Does anybody in the group have proficiency in nature? If you do, you could roll a nature check.
I would
No.
love to.
Bleak season. Come on.
18.
Not bad. You do know that birds of prey will oftentimes take advantage of the rising heat thermals that come off of rock late in the afternoon when the rock has heated up and creates these updrafts. And so what your interpretation as you look up is that they're riding this kettle of updrafting wind to sort of, they're not flapping their wings, they're just soaring. It's like a Fey elevator.
A favelator, if you will. No, it's also possible, Feyre, that they are just riding the thermals. We should
Just
still go look.
Happy vultures out
Maybe-
having a joyride.
Maybe they
Okay.
nest up there.
I'm
or
saying it's
something.
possible in case we turn out to be wrong about the whole rotting bodies thing. I'm not saying we're going to be wrong about the rotting bodies. I'm just saying there are options.
What do you
Why
mean
are there
rotting
always
bodies?
rotting bodies?
Because if we led normal lives, we'd, I don't know, be married and have
That's
10
cool.
kids by now. Come on.
But what do you mean rotting bodies?
We're going to find out.
Like
You know,
like dead
vultures.
people, or
You know,
like
Yeah.
vultures circling.
just
I sent some
Bunch
of
of
my
corpses,
undead
right?
scouts ahead, Byron, and those circling vultures mean that they've been destroyed by something, so I'm very concerned and need to go looking, okay?
Did you
Byron, why don't you send Chuck?
really send? Are there really? Do you think there could be undead up there?
I have no idea. We're going to have to go look.
Byron?
I think maybe we should
I
just
thought-
avoid it.
I thought we got past
Just
that. Byron.
tormenting the poor guy.
I think we should just avoid it.
Byron, I will
That was
protect
so
you
long
from the
ago. You'll be
undead.
alright.
Come on.
Feyre is your bodyguard from here on. She is your good buddy. You're
I
gonna be
don't
all
need
right.
to. I don't need to be protected.
And I'm the
Come on.
captain's bodyguard, so it's okay.
I'm okay. I'm
Captain,
not
shall we?
afraid. I just think, you know, it's dangerous and we have people to protect here.
I think it's most likely something much weirder than undead. Don't worry.
Are we letting greed take over our vision of protecting these people?
No, I'm going to go
Curiosity.
see what's going on, so maybe we can unravel some clues as to what we might run into as we go further into the jungle.
I could send Chuck ahead.
Yes,
That'd be
do that.
wise.
Okay. And I'll walk over to Runar and I'll just wrap my arms around his shoulders, and then my eyes will go white,
We have to walk.
and
like
Chuck
this.
will crawl out of my collar and run forward. And I'll whisper into Runar's ear,
You can walk. I'll
I
just
can't see anymore.
keep your arm on my
I'm-
shoulder. Just
I'm
stay
looking
close.
out Chuck's eyes, dude.
Hold on to my pack. You'll be all right. I'll let you know if there's a route that you're gonna trip over.
Feyre, make sure he doesn't get ambushed.
Well,
I'm sure there's no undead. Or
wait,
anything
did you
like
want me to
that.
go with the monkey? Or
Everybody
No,
roll
We're,
it.
we're
Byron.
all following the monkey. Let's go.
All right, do this. Everybody roll as you're making your way across this ridgeline. Let's get survival checks on everybody. Byron's will be with disadvantage because he is essentially blind.
I got a 21.
Okay.
I got no dice from roll 20 that time, but I got a 25.
How dare you roll 20?
I got an 11.
Which means
Oh.
you rolled what? A -2 on the dice?
I rolled
Four.
a
4, 3.
4,
Oh.
maybe 3.
Wow.
A
As
14.
you slip slightly, Feyre, Kirk, who can't see anything, just kind of reaches out and grabs the back of your cloak and kind of pulls you back up. So you're standing upright, and you just, Runar, you kind of look at Byron, and you're like, well, how did he do that?
Easy now. Let's.
Monkey senses.
As you get closer, Runar leading the way. Well, actually, Chuck, let's get Chuck's perception check. And what's the range on Chuck being out in front of you and being able to see through his
Ooh,
eyes?
that's
I
good.
think it's
That's a good
100.
question.
I think it's
100
100 feet.
think.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll have him pretty close to that.
Okay. So he's about 100 feet out. That's less than 120, right? Yeah, okay. Just double checking.
That's a very specific range you just checked for some reason, Dave.
He's gotten 11 perception.
Okay. 11. Very good. So what you can
That's his
see
passive
through
as
Chuck's
well.
eyes as you get closer, you can see that Chuck looks down at the ground, picks up rocks, throws them. He walks over, there's a little plant, he picks and eats it. And then he continues forward, and as you look through his eyes, you can see that the rock shards are getting kind of transitioning from sort of this gray hue to more of like a shiny black, sharp, almost like shards of obsidian. Some of it crushed almost into a fine dust, but other parts of it are larger fragments. Fragments the size of, large melons, for example, or some of them are large enough to like hide behind. They're just big pieces of rock. But as he gets closer, you're about 100 feet back, he gets to the base of this spire, and you can see through his eyes that there appear to be chiseled, rough-hewn stairs that wind their way around the spire. Just chiseled into the side of this large, twisted geologic feature.
Okay. So I'm gonna whisper to Runar. Chuck found some stairs. They go up the Blackstone spire. And then I will do something I haven't done really. I will telepathically communicate with Chuck and tell him, how fast can you get up the stairs, buddy?
Fast.
And I'll see how fast that is.
Do you open your eyes and release the visual connection?
I will try to remain in his vision as best I can until it goes out.
You should be okay because it's 100 feet and it's only about a 50-ish foot high. So he makes his way up. He races up. The rest of you watch as he makes his way up. Let's get a dexterity. Let's go acrobatics check for him.
Look at that monkey go.
Go, monkey, go. Climb.
It's going to be a 16.
Yeah, he's fast. He's real fast, and he's sure-footed as he makes his way up. And you can see, as you're watching through his eyes, that these stairs are narrow in some spots. In some locations of this sort of spiraling staircase, the stairs have broken off altogether, and he just jumps over and continues up and up and up. And as he gets to the top, he kind of holds on to the tip of the spire and kind of looks off and just waves to you, and you can all see him waving.
Him up there.
As soon as he starts waving, I'm gonna release the vision. I'm gonna start waving back.
Did he?
Nice.
Byron, was there any kind of room up there?
I it was just a bunch of staircase. It got narrow. It got wide. It got narrow. It was kind of dangerous.
I know what you mean. I wonder if it's some kind of watchtower.
I don't know.
All right.
I'm gonna go back to Chuck Vision.
Okay. As you look through his eyes this time, there is what appears to be a flat platform, very narrow platform. Roll a D100 for me, Byron.
$64.
There appears to be, this is interesting. There is a small rock that has been placed over a bouquet of flowers that presumably were picked somewhere and left there. They are dried. They are sort of blackened, but you can see and get the sense that at one time they were quite colorful. They are held down by a rock. And give me another, let's see. Runar, why don't you give me a D100 roll?
All right. 53.
There appears to be a small figurine as well next to the bundle of dried flowers, and it appears to be a small stout bearded creature with a reddish hued pointy hat. Kind of gnomish. Feyre, give me a D100 roll, please.
Right. Clearly someone's gnome friend died here. 63.
It was sad. Okay. This is getting weirder. There are also a pair of small, what Chuck could probably make out as gnomish-sized leather boots.
I mean, it all kind of goes together
If you try real hard.
my gnome angle.
And last but not least, Theo, give me a D100 roll. Let's see what the fourth random
It's a love
discovery
letter
is.
left to a dead gnome.
Yep.
I'm being done a heckin' concern here. I rolled a 2.
Whoa.
A 0, 2. 2.
A zombie gnome.
There is a snow white ivory flute inside one of the boots. And that's it.
I think someone died up there.
What makes you say that, buddy?
Well, I see like tiny little boots and like some flowers held down by a a little tiny little person figurine, and there's like a a flute in the boots. I think
Flute in the
think
boot.
somebody think something happened up there. I think this place sucks. Oh
Yes, I am going to come to agreement with you, and perhaps we should just slowly back away.
can you destroy it, Theo?
The tower?
Yeah, knock it over.
That'd be
No, I do not believe I can
pretty
destroy
loud.
the tower.
Why not? It's not like it's doing anything. Nobody lives here.
Dave, how close to it are we now?
You're at the base of it.
No. Do I see any writing or identifying markings or carvings or anything
Or
like that?
window?
Roll an investigation check as you kind of kick around the base.
Yeah.
I will assist him because I'm saying, or a window.
All right. Investigation.
That was amazing.
What is up with these rolls today? A 5
That was with advantage?
with advantage.
Oh my god.
I rolled a, what was that, a
Nice.
1
A natural
And,
one and a.
and a 3. Plus
Wow.
2. 'Cause I'm smart.
You're walking around, you're kind of like looking for writings or carvings or any sort of markings on it, and as you're stepping around the side, you hear a crunch underneath your boot, and you look down and there is a small femur bone that you just stepped on and broke, desiccated, dry, looks like it's been in the sun for ages. You look around and you start to see other bones, a couple of skulls piled up, some rib bones, humanoid in nature.
But they're small. Like they look child size.
You're not sure
Or
with
a
that
gnome
roll. You're like,
size.
you're not sure.
Wee little man size. All right. There's lots of bones around here.
Oh. Can I do a medicine check to see how they died? Like if it looks like by animals or something very
let's-
traumatic?
Yes, you could do that, or you could do a nature check. One of the two. Would
Medicine
either
it
one would play.
is.
Okay. Ooh,
Hey,
Ooh, that's a good roll. 22.
that's nice.
22.
Very well done.
It's hard to tell if what the source of death was. There are no obvious like fractured skulls, for example, or anything like that. It looks from your astute eye, your medical intuition, that they've been out in the sun here for a long, long time. What you do see is that they have been gnawed on by rodents, probably recently, and disturbed, you think, because as you look about, you can see that there appear to be a couple of different piles of stones, perhaps, where individuals might have been buried at the base of this feature, at the base of the spire, and they were somehow unearthed maybe by animals.
Oh. These bones have been here for a very long time. And,
These were
and that
graves.
looks like maybe a burial, ground or something. Maybe this is, their graveyard. The giant, creepy black tower in it.
Either way,
You know.
we should probably be respectful of it and walk away slowly.
I concur.
Okay.
In fact, at this point, I will look around for any like natural flowers or anything like that. And if I see any, I'll cut a couple down and I'll put them on the graves, and I'll be like, okay, we're sorry. Bye.
Yeah, you find some flowers that you can pick and lay down, as sort of a reverent action, for sure.
Yeah, I'll restack even some of the stones.
You don't want to
Okay.
go check out the view?
Nah, I'm good.
To
I
help
kinda already
out, I
did.
will cast Dance Macabre, animate 5 skeletons, and help them rearrange. Wait, nope, that doesn't help. Never mind, won't do that.
You're not helping, Theo.
It's like, if you reanimate the skeletons in the graveyard to help clean up their graveyard and then put them back, did you really upset anything?
And the second corollary question to that is, do you need to hold a second funeral for them as you lay them to rest a second time?
Well, I think at that point it's only respectful too.
Yeah, I agree. Good call. So Byron, you watch as Byron places the stones back in place, perhaps pushing some of the broken, shattered bones back into some semblance of a pile, and laying down some flowers on the graves. Chuck comes running back down and jumps up on your shoulder.
I'd like to take a look
Oh, hey,
around. Are
buddy.
there any other like little structures or paths or anything like that leading up to this thing?
Yeah. You rolled a perception check earlier. I think that was pretty good.
Oh,
So
yeah, 23.
really the main trail to this spot, the safest route that you can, as you kind of scope it out, you don't see any like obvious trails, but the safest route you're able to ascertain is the route that you took. Based on Farah's earlier survival check, she was finding sort of the safest and most, efficient route through that scree field, and coming across the ridgeline would have been the best route to get there. There are no other obvious trails. Byron, what's your passive perception?
Let me double check. 15.
Sorry, 13?
15.
15, okay.
All right. I guess I've seen enough. I think it looks a little risky climbing up this thing, so we just turn around.
Yeah. Let's go back to the people of Southport Azure and keep going.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't leave them alone for too long.
No.
Agreed. Let's go.
You guys make your way back across, not heading up the spire, but instead giving honor to the fallen that were laid to rest here, making your way back to the group of refugees in Quinn, who it's probably, I don't know, less than a quarter mile along the ridgeline. So they could definitely see you and kind of had a little bit of an idea of what was going on. And Quinn kind of nods as you come back and says, "Nothing too crazy over there then, huh?"
Some kind of
Good.
tower with stairways.
It's going to be
Some
dark
graves.
soon,
A
so
graveyard, honestly, for the local people, perhaps.
well, it's going to get dark
Small
soon, and
building.
I just as soon not have to camp near a graveyard, if you know what I mean.
Right.
No,
All right,
with
we
you
should
on that.
Get them moving again.
Very good. Let's do it. So you group up again, leading the way, Farah, with your bow drawn, perhaps, as you head now down. You've crested this ridgeline, and you start to make your way down into what appears to be a lower area of the mountains. You have entered a forest canyon, and as you come into this canyon, the sides of it are steep, and you can hear the calls of birds echoing through the canyon, as I mentioned before, but now louder. You can see as you lead the way, Farah, birds that were perched on the canyon walls are flushed at your presence, and they fly away from you. As you're in this canyon, it's getting darker now because, as you can imagine, the sun has a harder time shining into the canyon at a later time in the day. So it is starting to get dark. Despite the fact that it branches in multiple directions, you seem to almost know which way to go. Strangely, there's like this strange intuition that kind of guides you through this network of canyons. And the rest of you watch, and you're sort of, she doesn't even like ask, or like there's no debate on which way to go. You can just see Farah is leading you ahead through this canyon network. And eventually she leads you to this amazing flat campsite area where there's an old fire ring. And it looks to be an area that's large enough for the entire group to camp for the night, as the sun is going down and the sounds of the canyons and the sounds of the mountains are sort of quieting down, and you hear some calls of perhaps some like coyotes in the distance calling to each other. Nothing that is nearby or makes you necessarily nervous, unless your character would get nervous. There's nothing like looming, but it's just a transition from the day to the night. But you seem to have found a very suitable campsite, Farah.
Well, would you look at that? I'm
Yeah,
pretty
this
good
looks
at this.
nice.
Nice, well done. This is actually really nice.
I
Holy
know.
moly!
It has a little fire ring and everything.
What?
I know.
Okay, we should probably divvy up some duties with these folks that we're with. So let's send some of them
Yeah.
to get some firewood. And do we have enough food for everyone?
Get some food started. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank
We did
goodness.
have that deer that we brought back. But
Yeah.
we ate a lot of it last night.
Well, we could. I mean,
There is always hunting.
yeah, we can hunt some. You know.
Try hunting in the morning.
Yeah. We could hunt tonight. I mean, it's dark, but it's not that dark. I mean, it's kind of dark. I really can't see much, actually.
If only
It's
you
not-
had a fish helmet to help you see in the dark.
You know, I had one, and it was super helpful briefly, but
I love.
oh
mine.
my god, I look ridiculous.
I think
I
it
can't-
looks
I-
good.
I can't go to like a social gathering in that. I'll get laughed out of there.
I don't have a
Runar.
mode to go hunting with. Runar or Feyre, I believe if one of our numbers going on hunting, it's going to fall to you.
Well, I don't think there's
Although-
going to be much hunting to be had at night.
Well, I mean, some of us can see in the dark. Everyone but
Right, but
Byron, in fact.
a lot of the prey animals will be sleeping, wouldn't you think? I don't know.
It's not usually a good idea to go out in the dark to try to hunt or search. Like, we should stay in the camp area.
That might be a good way to get hunted.
Yes.
While all this is being discussed, I'm gonna start pitching my 2-person tent. You know, I'm gonna start, setting up some wood up in the fire. You know, I might light a couple torches and pin them around the perimeter of the area that we're planning on camping in. Guys, check it out. It's kind of homey, isn't it?
As homey
We
as
could-
we get.
We could live here forever. We could be a little family.
We're already we're a club, right? We're friends. We live on the ship, though.
Yeah, I'd rather
I'm
live
sick
on
of
the
that ship.
Wow.
You can stay here, Byron.
You just want to live here
This
in
is
the Amedio Jungle.
maybe
Not
roughing
really
it a bit,
here,
though.
but
somewhere
I mean,
like
it was-
this.
it was just a thought. I was just throwing it out there, giving you all the option to
I don't
live the
think-
dream with me.
I don't think we have time to unpack all of that right now as we finish setting up camp and taking care of these people. But at some point in the future, we should probably get into everything that just happened there.
As you say that, Runar, Quinn comes over to you and very suspiciously, as if he's trying to hide something, he just kind of like elbows you, says, Captain. And he like does a motion with his head as you are all having this conversation and some of the others are gathering wood and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
look
look
over
over.
and the torches, as Byron is lighting, the 4th or 5th torch, lighting up the canyon walls around this small campsite, you look up and up in the rock at about 6 or 7 or 8 or maybe 9 or 10 different locations, you see the glow of eyes. As your eyes adjust to detect what these are, you can see that they indeed are humanoid creatures of elvish design with bows drawn on you.
Oh, heads
Theo
up, you're
just-
not alone.
You hear a voice that echoes. You would be well to turn around. Head back from where you came.
In common or elvish?
In elvish.
I'll reply in Elvish.
What are they saying?
We are seeking refuge.
What are they saying?
They
Would
said
you
we
grant
should
us
leave.
sanctuary?
He said, why do they want us to leave? Ask them why they want us to leave.
You seek
Probably
refuge, you
they're
say. You
running.
seek sanctuary with these tyrants that you bring with you. I see you, of elvish descent. Yet you bring them to our home. These filth.
Theo's going to respond in Elvish. We did not know this was your home until this very instant. So for that, we do beg pardon.
If you do not want us here, we will continue on in the morning. Further south?
What are they saying?
Roll a
Byron, we're not happy
persuasion
you're here.
check. Both of you, each of you roll a persuasion check, Farah and Theo, for me, please.
Oakley dokily smokily.
I will give myself inspiration.
All right.
Ow.
Got any of advantages left?
Fancy.
I got a 17.
That's pretty good.
And
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh, man, 26?
Holy
Yes.
cow.
It's almost
Bard-
close for a second and then nah.
Bardic persuasion.
You, the elves, you are welcome to stay and move on in the morning, but this is Nabashaw land, and we have found sanctuary here. This is our refuge. We do not take kindly to strangers, especially those from the coast who have done so well as to oppress us for decades. Taking our people from the jungle, sending them away to far away lands, to work, God knows where, to suffer under the yoke of tyrants.
Theo's just going to turn and give Quinn a look. Because isn't Quinn half-elven?
He just kind of shrugs, as if he doesn't really understand.
Have you
Is
had
anybody
slavers working
translating
out of
this?
Fort South Azure?
I mean, of course, he's talking in common now. Slavers from the hold of the Sea Princes have, that's why these forts are here.
Oh, I hate those guys.
Yes,
Many of the peoples of the Amedio have been taken.
That's enough for right now. That's enough.
What else are they saying?
Sir, to be clear, how far back do we need to take these people before they are out of your territory?
Well, you would surely die should you attempt to leave here under the cover of night. You seem to have put yourselves in a predicament.
Yes, that is where I was going with that.
What about further south?
What if we took them further south?
To
Perhaps-
the grove?
Approach, and he kind of comes down and stands at the edge of the light. And this individual, I shouldn't say he because it's not quite clear as they step into the visible light. They have this like auburn, almost copper hair, this pale, elvish features on a pale face, the pointed ears, the long nose, and they have these interesting like green tattoos around the edge of their hairline and on their temples. Why have you come here?
Oh,
There was a meteorite that fell on the island in several places, and it has had a terrible effect on the people of the coast, killing most of them. And these are all that remain.
We came upon them because we seek to end a greater evil further into the woods, but they were having trouble in the forest, so we sought to help shepherd them to safer places.
is this all in Elvish?
Yes.
Definitely.
While
So
this
you
is
are-
happening, I'm gonna walk around this guy and be like,
Byron, stop it.
Byron.
"Look how cool his face is!"
Tell
Theo
your
just
friend to step away immediately.
just
You can
hand
hear
on
the
shoulder,
bowstrings that are
hauls back.
tightening.
Byron, they're going to kill you if you don't just stay right here,
Oh
okay?
man, why do elves always want to kill me?
They have their
Why do
reasons.
elves
Pat,
always
pat.
want to kill your friend? That is a good question, he says in
Well-
common.
He is quite vexing, I'm sorry.
You can speak
Nothing.
common. Can we have this conversation in common, sir?
He kind of pretends like he didn't even hear you, and he turns back to the elves, the half elves. So you are what, heroes?
Yes. Actually, I am the daughter of Fen Evenstar, if you've heard of family of heroes. Anyway, but we are just trying to do good and help those who cannot help themselves.
And this evil you speak of. Tell me more of this.
What do you know of Tomoa-chan?
Well, I've been asked about that place before from heroes who have wandered through these parts before. Luckily, they weren't as persuasive as the two of you, and, well, let's just say they didn't get very far.
We'll count ourselves fortunate then.
You
With
seek
the
Tomoa-chan, a city of ruin.
It was, we believe, but we know that men of the Scarlet Brotherhood have gone that way. They seek to do ill.
They're the slavers.
I believe those are the slavers.
This
that you were
brotherhood that you
talking
speak
about.
of, describe them to me. Are they a army? Are they a force?
We don't know how many they are or how much force they came through. We
They're
know
a
is at least a
cult.
sizable band. They are a cult, but they also at least command ships. One of them chased ours here. They wear a sign of how what does the sign of the Scarlet Brotherhood look
It's a
like again?
six-pointed star.
Is it six-pointed
it?
star,
Yeah.
Mark?
Yep.
Yeah. 5
They
or 6, I can't remember.
use a banner of a six-pointed star on a scarlet background. They are slaving assholes, to be fucking fair.
And you
And
seek
they are no
to
friends of
thwart
ours.
them?
We would like to
Yes.
stop them. And if they are trying to bring about some evil upon this land, we would like to stop that as well.
And we believe they are somehow interacting with the comet that recently pelted the peninsula with doom, if you will.
Ah,
And
the comet.
if any
Mm-hmm.
of your people suddenly start walking off into the jungle, seemingly hearing something, being drawn to something, stop them any way possible. Tie them up if you have to. They are being called to rocks that harm them upon the touch. It's very strange magic.
This comet that tore the sky asunder not but 10 days prior. We watched from the spire as it broke up over the Amedio. Fragments of it falling at various locations. We have not found any of these pieces, but as you indicate, they are quite dangerous.
We have found 2 fragments in the jungle so far. One killed most of the people of Fort South Azure. Another called them into the woods and tried to finish the job. If none fell here in these mountains, you're most fortunate.
While we are concerned of the portent of doom that this perhaps brings to the peoples of the Amedio, we must, of course, be most concerned with ourselves and with the Plasarian Grove, under which we have been given the responsibility to protect.
We have heard of the grove, but we know nothing of it. And I do not request for you to tell us more, only that we acknowledge it exists. Our only interest here is to find our way further to find this Tomoa-chan and to get these people to safety. This is all we seek. That's all we ask.
What would you request of us, then, that we allow you to stay the night with these people from the coast?
Children and farmers and shopkeepers. They are not adventurers. They cannot survive without assistance. We just need a place to stay for the night, and we will move on in the morning.
You look ill-prepared for this trek. Your people look hungry and weary. You are heroes, I can sense it. You may stay. We will provide you with enough hospitality to ensure that you are able to move on in the morning. He snaps his finger. You look back now kind of behind him, and you can see that the bowmen have disappeared. You can't see them anymore. And when he snaps his finger, someone else comes up with some water skins that they lay down at your feet, given the fact that you probably are running low on water at this point, traveling high in the mountains. And they also bring a small, kind of a woven sack that looks like it's been woven with vines and perhaps grasses. And they put that down at your feet as well. I will sit with you for a bit to learn more of this plague of the coast. If you would tell me more, it could be important to us.
It is the least we can do to repay your hospitality.
He just kind of walks past you over to the fire, and he sits down and next to it and pulls out a pipe and packs it with some leaf, and he uses prestidigitation to light it, and he starts smoking a pipe.
Theo just kind of turns, looks right at Quinn, and goes, "Just tell everyone to be cool and stay here."
Of course. Just to be clear, none of these people are slavers.
I know, that's why they're still alive, because if I found out they were slavers, I would have a problem with that. So none of them are slavers, no matter what.
Fair.
So, that's fine. We are in someone else's home at this point, and until we get out of these mountains, we're on best behaviors all around.
And they're willing to share some of their food and water with us. But we do need to leave in the morning. That is what they would like.
Is this all in common?
No, yeah, this is common.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're talking to Quinn. And you.
Runar
Okay, cool.
light a pipe. Sees it's pipe time.
You go sit down at the fire, Runar.
I'm just gonna say, good job, you two. I'm gonna go sit next to that guy.
Thanks, Captain.
Does that
I will
come with
sit
a
on the
raise?
other side of our new friend. And I will pull out my lute and begin to play something melodious to kind of keep the mood in a friendly, mellow way.
Theo
Very
will start
nice.
handing out fruit and water.
Byron's gonna pace and sulk.
Pat.
Runar's just gonna smoke and just like kind of like eye the elf, just like keep an eye on him, not like stare knives at him, but like it's just like checking him out,
Well, I might be staring knives at him.
using something kind of like where is that? Sorry, here it is. Did I print it? Yeah.
Where in the Discord?
Yeah. Know your enemy. It's a battle master ability. So I'm just kind of
Oh,
eyeing him up, spending at least 1 minute outside of combat to
okay.
check this guy out and kind of size him up.
All right. And so you get to know some things about this individual.
So I get to know if the creature is my equal, superior, or inferior in regard to two of the following characteristics: strength, dex, con, armor class, hit points. So I'll just go armor class and hit points.
All right. So you get the sense that well, I don't know how this would kind of pan out and play out, but this individual is wearing leather, hide, bits of armor. It looks to be well crafted, but definitely like homemade, right? So the armor doesn't look quite as, robust, shall we say, as yours. And they are lithe and thin and lean. They don't have the mass that you have.
I'm just gonna keep
If that
puffing
makes
away
sense.
at my pipe.
So
But they
you
are
get to,
prettier than you.
you
Yes.
get the sense that you have a higher AC and more hit points than this individual.
Nice
And
hair.
they have better hair than Runar does. Actually, I don't know. Runar probably has really good hair. But they do
Short.
kind of look like this. This is a rendition of a female of their group. But
Alright.
let's see if I can bring that up for folks to see.
They have 3 eyes.
Yep.
No,
face,
no,
like face
those are
tattoo.
tattoos on their face.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if I can make
Badass. They
it bigger.
look badass.
Boop, 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 boop. There we go.
They know what they're doing.
And incidentally, for folks that are watching, this is a version of an elven tribe that came out of one of CZRPG's published adventures called the Scarred Jungle. I did some adaptations, but this art and most of the stat block comes from that piece of content that Christian and his team put together, and some of the inspiration for this group definitely comes from that publication. So you got to check that out. The Scarred Jungle. It's really a good piece.
It's almost like we're there.
Yeah, almost. So you sit down, you pass out food, Theo. You look inside that woven sack, and it's fruit. So you pass along fruit to some of the refugees, and the water skins get passed around, and they're sort of sitting off. They're around the fire as well, but in like little clusters. Sort of, they're not. You don't get the sense that they're afraid anymore. Like they're less concerned now that they're getting fed and watered, and they feel a little bit more confident in what's going on. As the 4 of you sit at the fire, Quinn joining you by the fire, sitting there with this individual. And they, again, it's very difficult to tell if it's him or her. It's just this elven individual, and they are like, so tell me your names,
No.
visitors.
Don't mind him. I think he's just jealous or getting attention. You know.
That's Byron over there. I'm
I'm gonna walk
Runar.
off.
Seems moody.
Yes.
Quite.
But
He'll be all right.
he's a
Don't mind
good
him.
person to have in a fight. And he has a kind heart, even if he is strange about how he behaves sometimes.
He does have that monkey, which he did free from a bag of magical tricks. Still not sure how he managed that. I believe the archdruid actually did that for him at his request. That would be what I'd have to assume happened.
Interesting.
You weren't there for the archdruid, were you, Feyre?
No, I think I've been with you almost a month now, perhaps.
Oh,
For the record,
I
Chuck
thought
will be with me.
I thought you were the leader of this group.
I know, right? No, I'm not, though. Deg, and I point over at Deg, who is smoking. He has a ship, so we were sailing with Captain Deg.
Very interesting. Deg, you say?
That's right. Runar Deg.
Well, good to meet you, Captain. My name is Erendriel. I am the leader of this scouting party of Namashal elves.
Well, I thank you for your hospitality.
Yes. Usually we shoot first and ask questions later, but for some reason, the fact that you found this campsite is actually quite astonishing. This has been held a secret for quite some time.
Well,
We were, in
Is
fact,
it? I
startled
just-
to
Walked
see
right
you here.
into it.
yeah, Feyre here was our scout coming
Seemed
into
like
the valley.
it was the way I was supposed to go.
Your loot plane is quite nice.
Oh, thank you.
Now tell me, this Tomoe-chan that you seek, do you have any idea of where you're headed? You are, from the stories that I've heard, quite a great distance.
Yeah, we have some loose directions, you could say.
We have a map that we received from someone else who was in the area before, so we're using that to try to figure out where we should go. But it's not our map, so we don't really know what everything is. If we showed it to you, could you point out anything? Perhaps maybe even places we should not go, or places you would not like us to travel because it is your territory.
Of course, I could look at the map. Let's see it.
Deg?
All right, I'll start. I'll kind of like unwind the map on top of like the back of my pack or something.
And then do you hand it to him?
No, I'm gonna kind of put it in like an area where we can all kind of look at it.
Okay, so kind of down on the ground at your feet with the
'Cause it
firelight
is-
kind of illuminating it.
That's right. We did mend it into one solid piece.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
forget, but
Yep.
And
I don't want to like give it to him.
Oh,
I'm being possessive
we
of
can
it.
put it on a
That's
tree
fair.
stump or
Yeah.
or something where we could all kind of
Yeah, there's a
look at it.
rock where you could like lay it out and like hold it
Yeah.
down so everybody can see it.
And I'll
Um,
point out, see, right here is where the first meteorite fell. We marked it with a little X. And then here is where the second meteorite fell. And both of these we destroyed, so we stopped the magical effects. But I believe there's more on the island.
Yes, we had scouts tell us of areas to the east and to the south, and he points out on the map various locations of where he saw the meteor, or where he was told meteorites hit the jungle. And I'm going to go ahead and put those on the map during our break, because we're going to take a quick bio break because we need to. And we will be back in 5 minutes to talk more about cartography with this strange elf from the mountains,
Hey,
Arendriel.
Cartography with Elves is one of my favorite Sunday morning shows on PBS. Okay,
It's a great college class too, by the way. Really good stuff.
I did a really great project for that. I can bring up later for you guys.
So, my friends, those of you who are hanging out with us, first of all, thank you for that. We really appreciate it. We had a hype train going on earlier, which was fantastic. We had there's a lot of great banter going on in the chat. I wish I could watch it more closely, but we really appreciate you guys being here. It's super fun to engage with you all. We're going to be back in just a little bit, but I want to make sure that I remind folks that we are giving away a couple of things tonight. We're going to be giving away a vial of the Old Goat Beard Company beard oil. This wonderful stuff will be sent to you if you're in the continental United States. And then we're also going to be giving away a copy of the awesome supplement for your Curse of Strahd Ravenloft campaign. It's called Encounters in Barovia by our friends at CZRPG, who I just re-verified, despite Kirk's moodiness, are still our sponsors. So thank you, Christian. We will not let Byron ruin this business relationship with you, no matter what. No matter what kind of beard he has. That thing's filling in, dude.
Yeah.
It's looking really good. Is that real?
Actually,
find out after
I was
this
fully
break.
shaved this morning.
Are
Oh,
those
no.
implants?
That actually, I
Yeah.
believe that.
I
All right,
razor
we're
shaved
taking a
this
break.
morning.
Enter the giveaway. We're going to draw 2 winners at the end of the stream. Why not? Do it. Cardman's here. Cardman 2467.
Oh, boy.
I got my money on you.
Ooh. Oh,
I
man.
got
Yeah, me
my
too.
money on you. All right, we'll be right back.
Thanks.
Well,
Lawful?
we'll talk about that on our Behind Kirk's alignment stream, which we should definitely do.
Between two
No, we're
Kirks?
not doing that.
Between
Oh my
two
god.
Kirks.
Guess Kirk's alignment in real life. That's going to be the game show that we start up after we end this campaign. Oh my god.
I love you guys.
You
You're
have
the
to,
best.
otherwise you never get the antidote.
I need the antidote.
That's creepy. That's
Michael.
very creepy.
I
All right,
know
my
you-
friends.
Tried to reverse
Let's
engineer.
gather ourselves, if you will, back to the Plasarian Mountains. You have traveled from the jungle to the northern slopes of this broad mountain range, the emerald peaks piercing through a hazy mist. You have miraculously found a secret campsite in the winding labyrinthine canyons. You have then, in your preparations for your night, been visited by the inhabitants and the perhaps guardians of the place, one of which has introduced themselves to you as Erendriel, the leader of this scouting party. That individual has sat with you now at the fire, and you have produced a map that you have sprawled out on a rock so that the five of you, with Quinn kind of behind, kind of looking over your shoulders at the map, now point out. And we will bring the map up on screen here so folks can see it. If I don't know, Deg, if you could just give folks a quick summary of what this map is all about. Where did it come from? Just in case folks are joining us that weren't around for parts of that.
Oh boy. Well, Runar found one piece of the map after being attacked by a pirate ship. His crew survived, and when they searched the pirate's ship, Runar found this map fragment in the pirate captain's quarters. Her name was Charlotte Voldchek. Where did the other fragments come from? One of the
was in the
fragments. One of the fragments was in this mysterious blue box that the crew had been carrying around with them and didn't know how to open until we found Captain Dory in Nerisban, and he eventually opened it for us. And then, one of the map fragments I got off of, Runar got off of, I'm drawing a blank now. Dory.
So the
Who was-
blue box is opened by, not by Dory. It was
Not by Dory, yeah.
Solana. Yep, Vincent
Solana.
Solana.
Sorry.
Yep.
And Dory was the gangster that lived in Nerisban, and
yes,
we got another fragment off of him.
right. The one we did not kill.
Right.
No,
Oh,
we just
gosh.
messed him up.
Yeah, you destroyed his stranglehold on the underworld of Nerisban, that's for sure. And all of these fragments that Andy just described that were found and pieced together came from a fugitive named Riali. So if you are Greyhawk nerds out there, you'll know that Riali had been a fugitive wandering through the wilds of the Amedio Jungle, was said to have visited the lost city of Tomoachan, and was said to have a map that could guide people to it. That map was torn asunder before he was captured, perhaps by merchants, perhaps by other more nefarious peddlers of goods along the coast. Eventually, he ended up in Keeland and was able to pass along some of this information to, in our world, the Seekers of the Arcane, of which Byron, Aubrich Dralling, and others, including Solana, were members of. And now they have pieced together this map. You have it laid out in front of you, and you kind of look it over, and Erendriel is just sort of, yes, this is quite accurate in its dimension. Quite a good map.
Almost unsettlingly so.
I'm gonna
Indeed.
point to the Plasarian Grove
Mm.
and say, just ask him, do you know of this place?
Yes,
Plasarian Grove.
this is the sacred grove of the Plasarian Mountains that we, the Namashal, have taken it under our responsibility to protect and watch over.
So
we
we are
have-
in it now.
You are in the Plasarian Mountains. You are not in the
Okay.
sacred grove, my friend.
Okay.
What is it about the grove that draws your attention? Hey, thanks, Christian.
Primarily, I believe it's one of the only intelligible phrases on the map.
Yeah.
Well, no, some of the people from the town, the survivors, said that they had heard of the Plasarian Grove as being a wonderful, safe place, which is why it was the first place they thought to seek refuge. But we understand that they are not welcome, so we will just have to find somewhere else for them to go.
It's the I think it's a major step in our journey. Just because it's one of the big, first features pointed out on this map.
Yes, you have traveled quite some ways from the fort on the coast. And while I am not saddened to hear that it has been abandoned, I do feel for these people that you have brought. I look upon them now and see them to be, well, somewhat pathetic in their inability to protect themselves.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you
I
are
think-
curious. Adventurers, you say a hero, milady.
That's me.
You ever heard
Hero.
of Saltmarsh before?
Sadly, I have not. Is this
Oh.
of significance to you?
We're pretty well known in Saltmarsh. We're kind of a big deal there.
Well, as we
Never
say
mind.
in the Plasarian Mountains, we're not in Saltmarsh anymore.
It's a very specific
true.
phrase you have there.
I just made it up.
Especially for people who haven't been to Saltmarsh.
It's a weak attempt at elven humor, I admit.
Yeah, I was just
Trust
kidding
me, I
around
have
anyway.
heard much, much worse attempts at elven humor. I once listened to my father tell a joke that took an entire evening to set up.
Oh, the long game.
Mm. My father was also terrible at jokes.
Your father, was he the elf?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We are not necessarily known for our timing or delivery when it comes to humor.
Well, in fairness, he was what's the turn of the phrase? A king amongst assholes. So I try not to judge the rest of the elven people by his terrible metric.
Indeed. You seek this lost city. I must ask, if you make it there and find it, what do you intend to do there? You say there are these Brotherhood thugs that seek to find it as well. Is this a bit of a contest of...
Well, it might be turning into a bit of a contest.
We didn't know they were on the trail until we reached Fort South Azure.
I think our advantage is that we have a map. They
don't know that we're looking for it.
And I think that gives them. If there's some object of power, we can keep it away from them.
At this
We'll
point, this is
destroy
when
it.
this is when Quinn kind of pipes up and says, "As I mentioned to them before, sir, we did see this party, quite a large expedition that had passed through Fort Azure just a few days prior to the comet. They were strange, somber people, perhaps this brotherhood that you speak of, but I only say this now because they perhaps have the advantage of setting out ahead of you. Captain.
That could be.
Well, we don't even know exactly what they plan to do when they get there, so
Right, and there's
uncertain to
all
know
these
timing.
markings on the map, but we don't know what they mean. Like this one looks like a skull, and then these are 3 daggers, and do you know what those are? Or the little houses?
Yeah, it looks some kind of rift. You know what that says there?
To the east, you say?
Yes, another mountain range.
Place
The great-
names, of course, are difficult because they are often identified, spoken, and delineated in tongues that are not native to the place. This area of the waterfalls, this I do know this place. These are the Netzotl Falls.
Netzato.
I have never been there myself, but they are said to overlook the ruined city of Yoldira. As the stories go, it was once inhabited by a fierce Ulman tribe, but now is inhabited by something evil that is only referred to as, and it's like he's searching for a word, and he says it in Elvish, and it is translated as Night Stalkers.
That sounds awful.
Okay.
Sounds like it might be, and Theo just kind of taps the skull.
Does this seem like a viable route to head south to this river and travel along this river?
It is quite a dangerous journey. The river is treacherous
Where you
alone because of its rugged remoteness. I have not traveled much farther south than the Plasarian, to be honest with you. But I have heard of very powerful rivers to the south. This place here, this rift, it says Zuma Rift on the map here.
Yeah, that's the one.
Roll me a d20, Runar, real quick, please.
Whoops,
Bye.
possessed.
I know, horrible rolls tonight.
It's
Sometimes.
said that there was some sort of a fierce battle in the plains across the jungle, that a rift perhaps was opened beneath the floor, but I do not know of this place. There are others that might know more.
Say, is the grove beyond the borders of your land?
The grove is the border of our land for now. We have ourselves sought refuge here. As I mentioned before, many of my people, generations before us, were disappeared from the jungle. We ranged throughout much of the area north of the mountains for quite a few generations, a couple hundreds of years in your timekeeping. But eventually others came to seek out wealth and riches and to acquire resources and people to work to the north in mines and forests and for industry. And well, we moved farther south to escape that conflict, to find a place of our own where we could hide and be safe. We found a place here amongst the rugged Plasarian Mountains. Isolated, yes, but protected. Few venture this far into the mountains. We were quite surprised as we watched you climb the Screefield that you made it this far, and then to find our campsite. Quite fascinating. You have a good ranger with you.
I am very lucky. I'm not really a ranger. I'm a bard, a musician.
Well, You seem to have
'Cause
found
I
your way quite
play.
well through this
And a very good
very,
scout.
very dangerous land. Your music is quite good. There are others that have come to the Plasarian Mountains, to the foothills, that did not make it far, as I said, seeking the sacred grove, seeking the rejuvenating powers of the spring of splendor. That is what we seek to protect.
The what of what?
This is the first we've heard of this. I mean, it was just a waypoint on a map for us. But a spring, you say?
The waters of the Plasarian Grove, the spring of splendor, being the greatest pool within the grove, is said to be quite powerful, blessed perhaps, bubbling up from the rocky mountain, creating a oasis of healing energy, of safety.
Hmm.
We
I
have
guess
protected this
that's-
grove for centuries.
I believe the villagers have heard about this promise of safety.
They didn't say anything about magical waters.
Or
Don't
sacred
think I knew
sites.
So-
about them.
And perhaps we should not tell them that. That
Well, we
sounds
will-
like a temptation that they
This
should
is-
not want
This is the
to
direction
visit.
they want to go, but we will not set them up to live in the grove.
The important question relative to that is, what is south of the mountains?
Looks like
What
more
is south of the
damn
grove?
jungle.
The mountains of the Plasarian peaks are quite broad and extensive. To the south, you'll descend deeper into the interior of the Amedio Jungle. It is quite dangerous. We have hunting parties that range in the foothills, but not much farther south than that. There are some remote Ulman tribes to be wary of.
Came across some lizard folk to the north. Do you have run-ins with them?
Not this high up in the mountains, but certainly down in the jungle proper, of course. They are quite plentiful and, for the most part, not a threat.
Not aggressive?
I wouldn't say they're not aggressive, just not a threat.
Okay. We kept our distance. Avoided them.
They are quite easily duped.
Especially
Good
when
to
they
know.
think you're a giant egg. Anyway, Quinn,
Yes.
this kind of puts the difficult question to you. You can't stay in the mountains. What do you think from here?
We placed all of our hopes that we would find this legendary grove where we could maybe start new, or at least hide until, I don't know. I haven't thought that far. We've been so focused on just staying alive. In this grove has served as a destination, a motivator, something to keep our minds on, to motivate us to continue forward. These people are, as you say, sir, looking, and he looks over at the Namashal. They are not of the jungle. They are not equipped to survive out
That's
there.
Probably going to have to change going forward. Just, from the sound of it, this grove isn't the type of place you go and pitch your tent. If
It
you know what I'm
is-
saying.
Belongs to
be-
these elves. It
might
is
be
their
sacred.
home.
So I would encourage maybe a healthy distance from it. Maybe
My
visit it every now and then,
Thought
respectfully.
is, perhaps you might become better neighbors.
Mhm.
Is the jungle to the south of the mountains, in the foothills and the lower foothills, is it gentler than the lower reaches of the forest?
It is a difficult land to set up from nothing. You seek answers, yes, to your quest. These places you ask about, I cannot answer some of
Yeah,
these questions. This mountain range here, for example, and he points to this area right here.
Mhm.
Right here. The Huayhuash Mountains is the name that we've given it. It is said to be inhabited by strange magics, creatures of power. They stay away from the Plasarian Grove, but we do not know how far they range into the jungles to the south.
They're not friendly then.
Luckily, we have not had direct confrontation, but most things in this jungle, my dear, are not friendly.
Yeah, it looks like
The
this.
statement you just made, it sounded as if you were about to add, you have answers I do not have. Do you know someone who might and perhaps would be willing to treat with us?
There are others who hold such knowledge. To ask of them to share this knowledge would require some sort of offering in return.
What kind of offering would they enjoy? What would be appreciated?
While we have done everything we can do to protect the sacred grove, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that in the past few decades, it has lost a bit of its power. It has provided less to our people. Perhaps if you heroes, and he looks at you, Feyre, and kind of smiles in his very stoic sort of way, just like one corner of his mouth just kind of goes for a second.
Very elf.
Yeah.
Very.
For an elf, that's
That's-
emotive.
Yeah.
It's
He's
like-
gushing basically.
Yeah.
Flustered.
Just showed his cards.
Perhaps if you were to provide some assistance with a bit of a problem that we're having, we could negotiate the sharing of additional information.
Well, what kind of problem? Is it like a monster problem?
We solve problems.
That is true.
We are good at those kinds of problems.
We have an advisor of sorts, a creature of immense wisdom and knowledge who has, for generations, provided advice, has given us direction, provided us with a home here in the Plasarian Peaks, that we should protect it and guard its lair, the sacred grove. But in a sense, we have struggled in that promise, as our guardian has taken a long sleep. Not a sleep. He's looking for the words.
Hibernation?
He uses Elvish, and he describes it as some sort of a fitful nightmare.
Theo's eyes, in fact, go. These things are not good.
I mean, I have
good.
a number of healing abilities myself. I could try a few of them and see if it helps anything.
We
Could
can
this,
also investigate to see if we cannot find the cause of it.
We have ourselves shamans of great power and skill with the healing arts that have been unable to rouse our guide, our benefactor, from their sleep.
When did this troubled sleep begin? How long ago?
Oh, it has been perhaps 2 or 3 generations.
That
It has
long?
been a long sleep. We have sought to remedy this in numerous ways. The grove itself has grown weakened, and the protective power dwindles by the decade. Our benefactor, who we refer to as Argosalon, has not been able to wake. We believe that there is some sort of a curse, perhaps.
Well, I'm no stranger to lifting curses.
Are there any stories that tell what happened, how this happened, or when
There
it
is.
was first discovered?
There is a creature of lore. Not our lore, but something taught to us by the Ravanala himself, Argosalon. A creature referred to as Nogalbu. A dark and sinister trickster of sorts. We do believe that perhaps this rival of Argosalon has gained an upper hand. If you were to perhaps help us with locating this creature and helping to perhaps wake Argosalon from their fitful nightmare, their sleep, then some of the wisdom that they hold could be yours. And we just got raided by a whole crew of people.
Oh,
Hey,
why did we let
Lord
people in?
Gazumba and crew is here.
Zumba, welcome.
Jay, thank you so much. You're awesome. Jay obviously is a Greyhawk guru, and if you're not hip to Jay's channel, there's the link. Check them out for sure. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the guild. We're just getting into the Plasarian Mountains here in the Amedio Jungle, south of South Fort Azure. Thanks for joining us, everybody. So at this point, he kind of goes silent to sort of gauge your response to the proposition that he has laid out for you.
And this Nogalbu, where can he be found?
I feel like that's part of the ask.
Yes, we would need help locating this individual, this creature.
I mean, I would do that just based on what you've said. The only caveat I would ask for our help at this point is that if we are to go to the grove to help, that the refugees be allowed to come with us as well.
Will you permit them to live to the south?
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves right now.
Just to stay while we assist you. We don't want to... They're so helpless. We don't want to leave them.
I mean, eventually they're going to have to
Well,
fend for
perhaps with a
themselves.
little time, they can begin
Yes.
formulating a plan of what they would like to do on their own.
They're not completely helpless.
If you were to agree to help us track down this Nogalbu, we would allow them to stay for a time at the grove. What happens next will need to be determined. And perhaps Argosalon would be able to provide guidance on that decision.
Argosalon is where we should start. Using
Yes.
the grove.
Yes. I will take you there, but the non-elves will, of course, need to be blindfolded.
Ooh,
Why?
If that's what we've got, that's what we've got.
it's that kind of secret, huh? All right.
I will relate that information to Quinn, Tigerberry, and
Well,
hopefully,
Quinn's right
like-
there and speaks elf, so
Does he
Yep.
speak elf? You seem to
Yep.
not.
Yeah, he's half elf.
Okay.
Yep, he is. He's actually full elf. Full elf.
Oh,
Oh,
he's whole elf.
He's just
Full elf,
great.
Yep.
full
Yep.
elf, full elf, full elf.
he's just like,
Right.
He's got a
whatever, you
weird
guys are
green
assholes.
skin. Yeah.
Well, Quinn, do you
All
think
right.
that the people will agree to this, to be taken to the grove blindfolded?
I think they're desperate enough where, yes, they will do what it takes to be safe. Indeed.
All right. Then that is the plan for now. We will go with our elven benefactors and we will assist them to find out what has happened to our ghost lawn.
Sounds like a plan.
We'll leave the army of undead behind. That'll be fine.
Theo!
Excuse me? Undead, you say?
Well,
No, we joke about.
you'll
these
notice
things,
that
don't
my friend Byron seems to have the type of sense of humor that grits your teeth day and night.
I haven't done
Byron,
anything.
are you there still? Or have you...
Yeah,
Are you...
Byron's just wandering
he's
around.
saying that
I'm
out
just
loud in
walking back
common.
and forth. I'm walking back and forth, watching the elf.
He half jokes that clearly I'm a powerful necromancer, which why I would be on a ship doing that, I'm still not sure. He
It's
seems
only
to
a
think
half
it's funny.
joke because he summons the dead. So it's not a joke. It's serious business.
I've never seen it.
Please
You
explain.
haven't seen it? Okay, one time we were fighting this guy, and he brought the guy's soul out of its body, and then it fought next to us. It was gross. It was disgusting. He was standing like 2 feet away from me.
I will admit it is a little alarming the first time you see it, but it is
Yeah.
very helpful.
A
in tight
little.
spot.
Yeah. So you know what?
Let's just put it.
When
that way.
I first met him, he told me that he showed up on an island to retrieve the bodies of his friends.
Oh my.
Yes, I was hired. I was
But none
paid
of them
money
were
to
dead.
retrieve your
None of
bodies
them were
to
dead.
take them back to be interred,
Long story.
and then you
And-
weren't dead.
Anyway,
I wasn't there. I have no idea what you're talking
sir,
about. The elf.
exactly the kind of people that you want fighting a trickster creature like Gobu for you, as opposed to you having to do it.
We could use monster hunters. Yes.
That is something we have
Yeah,
done more than once. That is accurate.
Yeah, we saved the world a couple times. I'm not trying to brag or anything. We've been to hell.
We did take that
I've
side trip
not.
to hell at one point. Yes.
At this point, Erendriel is packing another full bowl on his pipe with leaf and lighting it back up.
There's-
And he is just listening intently to these stories that you start to sort of rattle off to each other.
Oh wait, I have a song for that, and I will go into my rendition of how great are the Deg Gang
Woo! Nice.
our
Deg song.
redone story of how we didn't destroy and ruin everything. In fact, our heroes in every single one of those are propaganda song about the Deg Gang.
We did
Uh,
pretty good leaving Cyber and
Hey.
Isle. That one we left on good terms.
And Nara's band was not our fault. It was a
Uh,
load-bearing layer.
A load-bearing layer. Yeah.
And
I mean,
Byron
blame
is
it on the
not
aboleth.
wrong,
Yeah.
And Byron is not wrong. In
Blame it
Monmurg,
on
it
the
was a
aboleth.
demon cult that we thwarted. It just so happened that members of the demon cult were highly placed, mafia
They were
members.
warded. They were warded.
It
Yeah.
collapsed
You know
half
what?
the town, but
You
Just you
summon
buy
a
my
demon.
song.
yeah, it's on you, right? I mean,
That's true.
we didn't.
William
summon it.
Cyrus Ray had it coming, and
Yeah, he did.
thanks to Greyhawk Mike out there. I don't know if he's in the raid crew, but we took the warded idea from him, which I think is pretty sweet. That there are these sort of elite retired captains from the Hold of the Sea Princes that have some sort of level of protection, like made men in the mafia kind of thing. And well, Byron killed one of them. So there you go. Now they're hunted throughout the Hold.
Whoops.
Among other places, let's be honest. Anyways, we digress into backstory here, which is fun, no doubt. You continue to maybe tell some stories to bolster your credibility, perhaps, as monster hunters. Feyre plays this song of propaganda. Let's get a performance check.
I would like to roll with advantage.
You're going to use an
wise
advantage?
decision.
Yep.
Yeah. Is it performance or?
I would say performance first. Oh,
Well, shizzle
wow.
grizzle.
Wow. Natural 20.
For 33, let me just
20,
say.
20, 20, 20.
That's pretty awesome. Nicely done. Very nice. I'm not even going to have you roll a deception check because you nailed it. And
Single tear rolls down Runar's cheek.
that's great. Just a beautiful propaganda tune, painting the Deg Gang in the best possible light as heroes of Saltmarsh and heroes of Nerisban, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's a great rendition, and you've got like some of the at one point some of the refugees are like clapping along, and they're really getting into it.
Now.
Yeah,
Theo's just off to one
Perfect
side,
score.
vaguely embarrassed by the whole thing. Like,
yeah, as he's called out in certain verses for his chicanery. I love it. That's great. So you guys are able to you paint a great picture. Your cred is strong with Arendriel, and for the moment, the Namashal have it's seemingly agreed to guide you the next morning into the Plasarian Grove. So at this point, do any of you want to? Is there anything else you want to do before the night ends? For example,
keep watch.
Keep watch.
Just set up. Well, we got the elves on point, but we should.
Yeah, and you don't know where they are. Like they kind of faded back into the mountainsides. The only Namashal that is there is Arendriel that you can see.
Yeah, we should keep watch.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
I'm gonna have completely set up camp. There's gonna be hammocks. There's gonna be a 2-person tent. There's gonna be all the fires around. There's gonna be a nice fire going. I'm gonna be cooking some of that deer that was shot by Runar. We're gonna be chilling.
Actually, Feyre shot it.
Oh, Feyre shot it.
Feyre shot
the deer.
deer.
Feyre shot the
She's
mother
a hell of
deer.
a shot with that oath bow.
Bambi's mother
Turns out.
is being cooked over our fire.
Delicious.
Bambi and Rambi are wandering.
Byron,
forest.
you're
They can
doing
come
it.
on by. I will help them too.
As Byron is like crafting his ass off this whole time, give me a survival check, Byron.
I'm gonna use one of my advantages.
You're
because I
building
suck at this.
things, and you're it's kind of like you're on the raft, and you're building and making it more hospitable for the people. I don't know if you're at the point of making smoothies or not, but it's
Smoothie.
it's looking good. Oh, whoa! Maybe you are making smoothies.
I got a nat
Dice just
20.
showed up.
Which gives you a 21.
Maybe you are making smoothies. Wow. Okay. Smoothies it is. You have taken the fruit and you have pulverized it into a mash, and you have created some really delicious concoctions with the sparkling water that they've brought you, and you've passed it out to the people of the refugee crew, and they're happy. The hammocks and the fire is high. The hammocks are comfortable, and your tent is cozy and comfortable. Let's do this. Let's have Michael. Why don't you roll a d20 for me?
A whole sides of 20.
You're all a natural 20.
I in fact did roll a natural 20. Thank you for calling that shot for me.
Wow,
Wait,
that-
down.
I mean,
How did-
the VTT is real
Yeah,
nice
it's-
right now.
The VTT is broken, folks.
That
What?
just freaked me out, man. 3 in a row? This is not right.
Yeah, this isn't real. We're gonna have to start using
Can't
real
run
dice.
anymore for the
Something
rest of
wrong.
the night because pretty soon it's gonna be all be one.
We're gonna have
Oh
to
God, you're right.
submit
It's
a
gonna come
bug
back to
report.
hit us.
That
No,
That was
let's.
like last game.
No,
Let's
the
keep it
beginning
going.
of this
Run
session.
with it.
Yeah,
1,
that's
3,
true.
5, 3, 3, 5, 2, 5.
That's true.
That's
All
true.
of this is
Coming back
accurate.
around.
Long story short is that as you set up watches throughout the night, you see the elves occasionally walking up and gathering more wood and bringing it in to keep the fire going. They don't say anything to you on your various watches, but they do help to kind of keep the fire going. You hear calls of wolves echoing through the canyon during the night, but nothing untoward happens to you during your long rest that you have. So you all have the benefit of the long rest. As you wake up the next morning and you look about and you see that there are a half a dozen Namashal warriors that are standing at the edge of your encampment as you're starting to break things down. And given the fact that Byron spent like hours putting all this stuff together, it takes a little bit of time to take it down. And you're kind of blown away by how much his very little bit of equipment was able to create such a wonderful encampment for the party. But you do eventually take it down, and there are strips of fabric that are handed out for the non-elves to again blindfold themselves. I apologize for the formality, but we must keep the location of the grove secret. This, in and of itself, bringing this many people from the coast is, well, it will be met with skepticism.
We already understand the sacrifice you are going through for this.
Yep. I will blindfold myself and then immediately go into Chuck vision.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Chuck will
that's what I was
stand
gonna
on my
suggest anyway.
shoulders looking around
That's
like,
boss.
Just navigate via Chuck.
So you will, you'll be able to see
I will
through your
take-
familiar.
I
Yeah.
will
Very
take
nice.
out a rope and I will hand it along to all the blindfolded people. So,
Oh, everyone, just take a hold of this rope, and we will lead you onward.
I'm good, I'll follow the sound.
All right, you guys.
Hey, Ro, you want to take up the front or the back?
I'll
Friends.
take up the front, I'm not worried.
I'll take the back. And then he just kind of stops, leans in, and goes, I almost made a joke about you and I at least cover one eye. It just keeps going.
The elvish one, the elvish eye.
Yeah,
The
we'll
Yeah.
cover the
joke.
human eye.
we'll cover the human eye. It's fine.
Right, cover the human eye. It takes the better part of the morning as you traverse down the slope, this canyon, and eventually you crest this smaller ridgeline, and you take in this view like nothing you've ever seen before. Those of you that don't have blindfolds on, of course. Below you, partially concealed by a persistent fog, lies this verdant valley of ancient cedar and hemlock, winding streams, and this very vibrant pink blossomed tree that are scattered throughout this grove. And you can see as you continue to descend, there are small huts in the trees and some on the ground. And it seems to be a relatively small community. It's not a city by any stretch of the imagination. It's definitely a small village of Namashal that live in this place. And immediately as you enter into this beautiful grove of pink blossomed trees, which are kind of like magnolia trees, you come below the fog and you can see a better view of these huts that are built from native materials. There are a variety of animals that scurry about and birds that flit about and eat fruits off the trees. It appears as though there's always almost like this menagerie of life down in this valley, and there are these small rivulet type streams that sort of wind their way through the village and head to the south. And as you come in, he gestures that the blindfolds be removed, and the 16 or so refugees sort of like take it all in, and you can see that some of them start to like shed a tear. They're so happy to be in this place. And at this point, you see that there are other elves that sort of are peeking about and come out to meet you. And there's a bit of a tense discussion between Arendriel and another one of these elves who has this more of a blonde hair and in their hair there are what appear to be like bones and feathers. And they look over at you, and then they look back, and they're kind of talking in hushed elven whispers. And eventually, the people of the tribe kind of come out and start to take care of the refugees and give them sort of like a place to sit and some food. There's a sense of hospitality despite the sort of perceived intrusion. These people, just for a little bit of background, they have been pushed out of their native lands and had to find a place. So there is a sense of like kinship with the idea of what's happening to these people. And once they kind of accept the fact that these are not the slavers, these are not the evil people that have oppressed them. In fact, it has been generations in elvish lineages since these people were accosted like that. So
just countries rise and fall in the rest of the world. Yeah.
Right. So there's a little bit of a kindred with these refugees that you can see with maybe not so much the warriors and the scouts, but with the people of the village who are a little bit more welcoming. And so that seems to be taken care of, and Quinn sort of just fades off and is helping with that whole thing. He's speaking Elvish and getting people situated and that kind of thing. And Arendriel introduces you to this blonde-haired elf. This is Kalima. Kalima is our shaman, guide to the spirit realm. Kalima, these are, well, heroes from the north who could help us, perhaps, with the problem that we have. Please, come, let us sit. Let us sit and talk a bit. We will show you shortly where Argosalon sleeps in their fitful slumber. They guide you to a hut, and they pull back like a hide sort of covering opening, and you walk inside this hut, and there's smoke coming off of a small fire. It's kind of dark, but there's light that's kind of coming in through various cracks in the construction of this hut. And you're bid to sit.
Thank you. Your home is very lovely. Beautiful pink trees and birds and creatures everywhere.
We appreciate the hospitality and mercy that you have shown these people.
Arendriel looks at you and says, "We do this because I believe, that you may be able to help us with our problem. Kalima, there is a reason these people found our campsite. I do believe that they were, dare I say it, sent to us." Kalima just starts to laugh. Your understanding of the legends is entertaining, Arendriel. But yes, it is possible that you could help us. Why does he look so angry, that one there? Hello? What is your name?
He does not speak the elven tongues. That is
Byron.
part of why he looks so cross.
My pardons, she says in common. You with the frown.
Hey,
Could you turn it upside down?
so
That is an old elvish saying that you beat me to it.
I studied many of the classics in my youth.
You
The frown upside down classics. I love it.
It's a literal translation from Elvish.
do
It loses something in the translation to common.
Oh. Ah, there we go. Look at you. You even have most of your teeth.
I have all my teeth.
It's actually
I've never
very
lost a
impressive
tooth.
given the number of times I have seen him hit in the head.
actually, you're right. Yeah, he should probably be missing most of his teeth.
I'm not missing a single tooth.
It's pretty good. Anyway,
Yeah.
do your people have stories of prophecies of how Argosalon could be woken up?
Yes, of course we do. We have great stories that Argosalon has shared with us, well, with my ancestors. He has been in the great sleep for some time. and she starts packing a pipe.
That mean he's dead?
I did
And it's
say-
this long pipe. It's very long that she has to hold it with 2 hands.
The great
and-
sleep.
It's just the
Arendriel
sleep.
lights it, and she takes a big puff of it, and then she passes it around to each one of you in turn.
Oh.
Oh,
Thank you.
have you not done this before? Just looking at it. It's common in many
Rusty.
cultures this far south. When we were on Cybrid Isle, that was not dissimilar tradition.
Does the smoke remind me of that experience
Which experience?
on Cyber
Oh,
Isle when
at
we shared a pipe
Moradu?
with the people of?
When we hit the good stuff, if you will.
Oh yeah,
Yep, in Moradu. Yeah, actually, it does remind you, because as they start to speak, Kalima, you sort of start to see the words start to take shape in your mind's eye, and you have like visions of the stories that she tells you, and she talks about the Plasarian Grove, this sacred place that is said to have been touched by a celestial entity, and you see like this sort of like glowing mountain with this hand of like the gods sort of coming down and shaping the mountain range. She describes to you the bountiful harvest of plants and animals that once roamed through this place, just a remnant of what, and you're blown away because what you saw was quite active in terms of the flora and fauna, but the vision that she shows you is all kinds of creatures living sort of in this sacred place. I'm talking about like will-o-wisps, nymphs, blink dogs, fairies. Like it was just this strange amalgamation of life that was somehow celestial touched. And there's this healing power, and then you bring your vision to this spring, this bubbling spring that feeds this broad, crystal clear, beautiful pool. The plants underwater, these aquatic plants just glowing with brilliant hues, all kinds of different colors, fish swimming about as almost like what we would think, like look at a coral reef here. Just a beautiful oasis in this rugged area. And there is on the shore a unicorn that stands majestic and just sort of looks out over the space, and she refers to it as Elenestra. That word kind of rings in your head, Elenestra, over and over again. And eventually you watch as the trees come alive. Not like the trees that you had encountered only a day or two prior with the corruption of the Pool of Gloom, but these beautiful, majestic, large, treant-like creatures with beautiful fronds of palm leaves that take a sort of what would be the right word? They take sort of a protective nature over this place. And you see that they are, as you kind of zoom out your scope of vision of this landscape, that they are across the Amedio Jungle. And eventually it sort of comes back to the grove, and you can see that the water line is reduced, as if it is no longer fed by the streams that fed it. There's more shoreline. It looks dried. It looks as though it's more shallow. The fish no longer swim about. The colors of the foliage underwater, it no longer glows and glimmers. And then you come out of the vision.
May I ask, what nature of creature is your benefactor, Argosalon? Is it a celestial? Is it a dragon?
It is neither of those, dear, but something much different. Something that my lineage of shaman have called Ravanala. They are creatures of great power and wisdom. You could easily mistake them for a majestic tree of the jungle. You could walk right past it, in fact, without realizing that you are indeed in the presence of something wonderful, something kind and caring.
And what do legends say about the Dark Trickster?
Nagolbu.
I did not wish to invoke his name if it was not appropriate.
Yes, he is the one that might be responsible for this.
We do believe that to be a distinct possibility, although others in our tribe are more skeptical. There is a story. I cannot verify its accuracy, but it has been passed down through the generations of Nagolbu making off with a sacred artifact of my great-grandmother. A
Sort of.
crystal of sorts. Something that granted our lineage great power. Something that was given to us by Argosalan. Or perhaps his ancestors.
What color is that crystal?
It is blue. We call it the shard of Elenestra.
I'm gonna smack Byron awake.
It has been in our tribe for generations.
What?
Show him your shard.
Seen any blue
it's
shards?
fine.
Perhaps
We're looking
anything
to see
perhaps
if it
made
matched the
into a
description.
necklace?
Does it look like?
Do you think?
Does it
I'll
look
go
like
ahead.
your shard?
I'll lift it up out of my collar, my cloak.
Do you know if it
I'll
looks
hold it
anything
up.
like this?
Hold on, let me roll a d20.
Or like the one that you took?
Oh, that
from
was almost a
rich
natural
guy?
20.
I know.
I read.
I saw
But I
that.
didn't steal from a shrine.
No, but
What
maybe
are you holding
someone
up to her?
Did.
I'm
The
holding up
shard of one
that
of the-
shard that I
yeah.
took from the meteorite.
Mm. She kind of gasps when she sees it, and she, as if she recognizes it. This is. Where did you get this?
I took it from an alien dropship.
The comet Hayakutake.
Yeah, Hayakutake came down, crashed into the earth. A bunch of
Your
creatures
people's-
came out. We slaughtered them, and we crushed the crystal. And then I was looking through the crystals, like maybe there were something. And I found this thing. I was like, awesome! I'm gonna put this
But
in my
you
bag.
But you say that crystal was good, with good power.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, it does help you out, right?
I've never had to use it.
This item that you
Conduit.
have looks very similar to the shard of Elenestra, aside from the shard being shaped in the likeness of a horn of a unicorn, as if worked by artisans of some unknown craft.
Okay. Yeah, this doesn't look like a unicorn at all.
Okay, and that's not that. It wouldn't be.
I'll tuck it back down into my cloak.
It wouldn't be that amulet we stole. Byron stole.
What?
The
No.
amulet liberated
Oh.
from Nerisban.
Hey, maybe they might know about it.
The Ixocoitl amulet.
That's what I was thinking.
I'll take
Perhaps
the
they-
Ixocoitl
That
amulet out.
stone in the middle was, made jewelry?
You want to see
No.
if
Something
they recognize it?
Magical?
Yeah.
God
What
damn
about
it.
this
I don't
cool
rem-
amulet?
I don't remember the Ixocoitl amulet. Oh, yes,
so
I
I
got
do.
it.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Sorry. You.
Put it in the
Yep, that's right.
It's in the-
device.
It's in
Yep.
He was
Isn't
supposed
it?
to be an
This is-
artifact.
She looks at it and she sees that there's that gem in the middle, right? I'm on the right track. Yeah, there's the
That's
gem
what
in the
I'm
middle. There's the sort of like etchings
Gold.
around the edge in gold. Yeah. I was thinking of something else that you guys found a long time ago. Ixocoidal amulet. She takes one look at it and you see that same recognition. Where did you find this?
I stole it.
There's some rich collector up
Yeah.
north.
An
This is-
an
May
ally
I-
of the slavers.
May I
Yeah.
see it?
Who's asking?
May I see it?
She's
Makes
their shaman.
sense.
You
I'll
can
hold
trust
it.
her.
I'll hold it closer.
Byron.
What? She can't see it?
She will give it back. I promise you.
You promised me? Okay.
Promise.
If Theo promises me, I'll hand it to her.
Okay. She takes it and looks at it. And she starts to describe how it is some ancient form of Ulman text around the perimeter, which she can't read or decipher. The Ulman, not necessarily known for their written script, but this is some sort of almost like a hieroglyphic sort of approach. But she definitely recognizes it as Ulman artistry. There
Artistry?
we go. Yep. This is quite an artifact. She hands it back to you. No.
Nice. Thank you.
The item you showed me prior, that crystal, that is, aside from its shape, very similar
Okay.
to the shard of Elenestra.
All right. Cool.
I have a very bad suspicion.
Yeah, we gotta go kill some more meteors.
No, but if I were some sort of fell or unholy force looking to attract a comet for some purpose, and that comet drops a material like that, most magic works on a concept of sympathetics. Yes, like a chain, that sort of thing. So if you were to call a comet from the sky, made of a material would help if you had an item of that material already.
So you think someone stole this this gem and to make the comet fall?
It's the sort of thing that if you were doing a grand working on that scale, might be a necessary component. We should. It is too early to make any certain statements, but I have a bad feeling this may be tied into whatever awaits us in Tomoa-chan, which makes looking into it even more urgent.
All right,
Well,
I
then
will.
we'd be killing two birds with one stone because we're going that way, and if they have stolen your rock, we could get that for you.
I agree. I agree completely. I will look at this shaman lady and I'll be like, listen. You know, we've been through a lot, and I can't even. There are not words to describe what we've been through. And I get that, like, you're like really important to these awesome people. This is a great place. I love it. I love the trees. They're really beautiful. The like tree forts in the trees. The craftsmanship. I've taken notes. They're beautiful. Holy crap. Wow. We need your help. We're gonna save the world again. And I really think you're gonna be really helpful in our journey to save the world again. And so if you know any shortcuts or like helpful tips and tricks, or maybe like, I don't know, like a how-to guide to get, where we're going. Oh my gosh. I guarantee we have at least 1,173 gold to give you.
You have that number burned into your mind, don't you?
Sure do.
Where do we start?
Yes, let's. When can we meet your sleeping benefactor?
Yeah, we'll wake him up. I mean, I got some. Well,
We
here,
need
let
to
me
go
just check.
take a look around.
Got some cold water.
Investigate, and then perhaps we can try to track down
Let's figure out what. Yes, let us see what we see first.
Yeah, I could whip him. I have a whip.
We're
No.
not whipping anyone
I'm waking him
unless
up.
they ask for it and it's consensual. Otherwise, no whipping.
What about bad
Always a
guys?
good policy.
You
That's
can
still
whip all the
on.
bad
It's
guys you
implied
want.
consent. If they roll initiative, it's implied consent.
Touche.
All right, so you guys are requesting to meet with, or at least get a visual on Argosalon, basically.
Yes.
Right.
Or would you, or
The-
do you want to go to the
I guess
pool?
just asking like where we should
Spring of
start
Splendor.
to, like where they think we should start to try to help him.
I mean, I do want to know his condition, like to see, like,
Sure.
what is
Yes.
he?
First, we
you know,
diagnose
kinda-
him.
Yeah, and then
Absolutely.
look at it's affecting the pool. Let's look at the pool, and then
Okay.
see if we
Yeah,
get any
maybe we'll
clues about
Find the
where.
trail. Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
love clues.
Absolutely. All right. So Kalima and Ariandel stand up, and they say, "Well, we'll go to Argosalon then.
All right.
We'll start there. We will not whip anyone,
Mm-mm.
right?
Byron
Again,
will
not
whip
unless they
anyone.
provide consent, which clearly is not anywhere near where we are at this
Sleeping
point.
people don't provide consent.
Correct.
Yes, that is correct.
With that in mind, let's go check it out."
Okay.
And the four of you follow the two Namashal elves as they guide you back out into the village, out of the hut. As you come out, your eyesight sort of adjusts, and it is sort of this beautiful day with birds flitting about. And you look and you can see Quinn and the refugees are sort of, some of them are even laughing and like smiling. There's a sense of like, I guess I would say sort of calm amongst them. And they seem to be engaging a bit with the elves of the village. And as the four of you begin to walk down this rocky trail with these stone stairs that lead farther down to the south of the village, you crest over this small ridgeline and you look down upon this beautiful, although in the minds of the Namashal, possibly withered grove. And we will come back next week to get deeper into the Spring of Splendor,
Nope.
Argosalon, and the mystery of the strange creature Nogalbu.
That's okay. I know me and Ashley need the time to load up as many blight spells as we can get.
Do not blight this grove, my friend.
Oh, it's happening.
I don't have the ability to swap out my spells. 'cause I'm
Neither
not
do
a
I. That's okay. We'll
cleric.
figure
No,
something
he's a
out the next
warlock.
week.
Bards.
Yeah. Maybe you'll
All
find
right.
an artifact along the way. Hey, you guys, thanks for some awesome roleplay today. Big shout out to the Raiders from Lord Gazumba's channel. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it, as always. I will be running a game as part of the virtual Greyhawk Con, which is coming up here in October. So check out, follow us on Twitter to get an update on the details about that. We'll be reaching out to folks to join us to play. It'll be an open game. If you want to win some stuff, we do have a giveaway going on.
And we do love stuff.
And everybody likes Encounters in Barovia, a little supplement that you can use to spice up your Curse of Strahd or Ravenloft games. It's really good.
Spice
I've
up your
used it.
life.
I mean, put some Greyhawk gravy on it. Let's be honest. We all love that Greyhawk
Really?
gravy.
You're so
Greyhawk
Canadian.
gravy, baby.
It's like flanis poutine. It's delicious. We'll also be giving away in just a minute here the Old Goat Beard Company beard oil. So exclamation mark drawing to get in on the action. Look at that. So good. I use it every day. We all use it. Even Kirk, now that he has a beard again. Nope, Ashley doesn't use it.
She might put it on there just to like make her skin feel nice.
I mean, I could maybe put it on the ends of
Put
my
it in your hair.
but-
Yeah.
Coconut
Probably
oil
not terrible
base.
actually for that.
Yeah, Andy and his wife make this stuff. Andy, maybe hair care products are next. Let's go from the face to other parts of the, body. all over the place.
Will they have soaps?
There you go.
Shit.
Yeah, I've
Shampoos
used
are
them all.
next.
They're fantastic.
Shampoos and conditioners. If you want to get in on this action, ! Drawing, I would just say this: your odds are pretty good of winning right now. So get in there. Get in there. All right, we're gonna give some stuff away here. Let me just make a couple of quick announcements as well. We're gonna raid some folks in a second, but we do have a new Monday game. Excuse me, the Free Leagues Mutineer Zero Gen Lab Alpha being run by our good friend Christian, also known as Bleak Season. His information is there in the chat for you to check out their Twitter and get involved, get connected. We're super jazzed. A lot of good cosplay. And all right, fine. Let's go ahead and give something away. Does anybody else want to get in on this action? Because I can see that there's not a lot of people in here. I have a feeling I know. I have a feeling I know who's going to win.
All right.
Hey.
So here's the deal, everybody. I refuse. It's a moral obligation of mine to not. I don't promote products I don't try. I've tried.
I've seen him do it.
I've tried all the soaps. I've tried every soap that the Old Goat Brewery or Old Goat Beard Company makes. They aren't just beard soaps either.
No?
No. I use them. I have one of them still in my bathroom as a hand soap.
Wow.
And it's fantastic. It's got little bits of oats. It's very small now. It's actually broken into 2 pieces. I would go grab it, but it would take me a minute.
We don't want to see your old soap. Seriously, it's okay.
It just got
it's
very
okay.
I
small.
kind of want to see his old soap.
No.
Anyways,
no, we're good.
they're really cool. They're really well crafted.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
and all you gotta do is type drawing, and you win, maybe, or not,
Right.
or Cardman wins.
It's quite possible
Oh,
that
man.
Cardman is going to win because that's just the way it goes. All right, here we go. Ashley, let's get a 5-second countdown, please.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Here we go. Hey, Rob.
Oh,
Hey, Phantom NJ has won. Phantom, you do have the choice. Which would you like? Would you like the Encounters in Barovia, or do you want the beard oil?
You gotta smear oil on your beard.
You could end up having a beard like Kirk.
Yeah,
Thick and luscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Started growing this 12 hours ago.
Are you serious?
I had to clean shave this morning when I woke up.
Wow.
I was bald as a baby's butt.
Yeah, and at 12 years old too. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm only 14.
Yeah, at only like 16. It's crazy.
Rob is going to go with the Barovia. You got it. I'll send you a link.
Barovia.
So stay tuned. You're going to get the Barovia link, and we are going to go ahead and make the next. Oh my gosh, I can see who's going to win this. I have a feeling about this. Here we go. 5, 4, 3,
wow.
2, and 1. Hey, Tim! Enoch
Hey,
Pratt.
Tim.
Hey,
Hey,
Enoch,
Tim.
have you won yet? Have you
I
won
don't-
one of our giveaways? I don't
Dude,
think so.
Tim has a fantastic beard. I know Tim. I
Hey,
play with
whoa.
Tim over
Perfect.
on Wiley Hobbit's channel every other Sunday, and he's got a beautiful beard.
We owe it to Enoch. We got
We do.
to make sure he gets it.
We owe it to Enoch, and we will get that to Enoch because I know that he would love this stuff. So we're gonna go for that. We're gonna go ahead and raid.
We are Raiders.
We are going to raid the crew
Let's do some
over at
coastal
Perception.
towns.
Let's start that
Oh,
raid. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. We're going to Perception Studio. We really, really appreciate all of you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for dropping in. If you haven't already, please follow the channel. That's probably the best way that you can support us. We will be back on Monday to play in our Free League game, and we'll be back Wednesday to figure out what's going on with our Gosselon in the Grove, the Sacred Grove. See ya.
The Sacred Grove.